All right, we are live. Welcome to Live from Tech Alley, everybody. This is our monthly Vegas startup scene live stream we do from the Tech Alley event in downtown Las Vegas. Every third Saturday of the month, we're centered around Taverna Costera. They're the amazing sponsors who provide coffee and lunch and all the space for us to do all this networking here. If we look a little different, you probably are noticing we're looking a little different than we were.
Bit, yeah.
So there are two reasons we look a little different this month than we have in the past. So you will look at our frame is a little shorter and a little wider.
Okay.
And so what happened was I was working on a film project a couple of weeks ago,
Okay.
and they asked me to bring this camera because the videographer was using other similar cameras, like exactly the same kind of camera as we use here. And so I brought it, and he was like, "Hey, have you been using this in photo mode?" And I was like,
oh, wow.
I don't know how to change the mode, so I guess I was. And he's like, yeah, you've had this in photo mode. And I was like, well, that's weird because it will live stream video while it's in photo mode. But it's a little bit taller frame and a little bit narrower frame. So we look a little bit different because of that. And also, we are not lit as well as we normally are because I forgot the softbox cover to the light. So the choices were be lit really well and blind
Yep.
from looking at the light,
Yep.
or go without a light. And I actually messed around with the exposure setting on the camera, but it actually was getting washed out. I think as the day goes on, we're going to get better. As the sun moves around, we're going to be a little better. But I think this is acceptable for what we have going on today. So
Yeah, I think it's great.
So Dave Berlin, how the heck are you? What's going on?
Oh, man, I am good. We are, the weather is perfect. And it's so funny because as soon as we went live, I'm like, man, I wish we had just like an aerial drone shot of everything that was happening on the other side of the camera, because it's just all the hustle and bustle, everybody's scurrying off to hit all the great sessions that we've got kicking off Tech Alley. And we're right around the corner from Global Entrepreneurship Week. So you know that my schedule is jam-packed with making all the connections, making sure that all the people have the right information, and I'm excited to see how everything comes together this year.
I do want to jump into that, but let me first kind of do the quick rundown of what's happening here today, because typically we try to get this so that we live stream out the announcements.
Yep.
And the announcements are in a little bit different place, and it wasn't real convenient with the camera set up to catch the announcements today. So let me just do the quick rundown, and we're starting at 11. It's actually right now the first round of talks is starting here. So at 11 a.m., an active angel investor's perspective. Ross W. Newman is doing that. I believe that's in the theater. Innovation Essentials. That's always a monthly favorite, hosted by Rachel Gomez. Agile and Scrum by Will Wang. Las Vegas AI Meetup, hosted by Timothy May. That's a really popular one as well. And Sit with a Startup attorney, Caleb Green, is inside Taverna Costera doing that. And then at 12:15, we'll have lunch and more networking. We've already had a great hour and a half hour of networking already. Then the second round of meetups will start at 1:15 p.m. Josh Stacy hosts Demo Time, good friend of the show, Josh Stacy. Victory hosts the Drones Meetup. AI Search Optimization with Eric Lacasse, another good friend of the show. User Experience and Product Design with Abigail Otero. You've seen Abigail's talks at Henderson Tech Alley.
I know Abigail.
And I think she did that last month here as well. Those are always really great. Adam Englander is doing the Las Vegas Python Meetup. And then Ask a Health Broker with Ali Gogaud? I don't know. All right. And then the third round of meetups, we have the Sin City Programmers with Justin Otero and Josh Stacy. Good friend of the show, James Roop, will be doing the blockchain self-custody meetup. I think some of those later locations are a little TBD today. I think we're moving rooms around. And then Raquel Very is doing her very first SolidWorks user group meetup today.
Very cool.
Lots of good stuff going on today. It's the place to be for tech meetup in
all things
Las
startup.
Vegas, and all things startup, and all things entrepreneurship, and all things very cool people doing very cool things in Las Vegas. I have said it before, and I'll say it again. It is the best business networking event in town because it is focused on let's do cool stuff together, not on who's going to make a sale to somebody today. So
yeah, not only that, I think it's one of the most consistent events that's all across the valley. There's some events that for whatever reason, if it's a monthly thing, there's a lot of people that like move stuff around because of different dates. I don't think this has ever
never once
changed or moved based on anything that's going on.
I think today is Tech Alley 54, and it has always been the third Saturday of the month. They've never missed one, and they've always been the third Saturday of the month. They've never missed one, and they've always had amazing weather for all of them, which is you know, in Las Vegas, pretty consistent. But even in the summer when it gets hot, we've had pretty good days.
Yeah, and I mean, even in the fall, whenever it can get really windy or things can take off, I think we've always done a pretty good job of staying ahead of that.
Yeah,
so.
Josh and James have always done a good job filling out the weather. So yeah, so let's get into Global Entrepreneurship Week. Tell us, there have been a bunch of developments since the last time we talked about this, but go ahead and fill us in. I'm going to just make sure we are streaming and have decent video quality and all that kind of stuff while you're talking for a minute.
Yeah, so Global Entrepreneurship Week is a global initiative to celebrate entrepreneurship all around the world. It happens in over 180 countries. You want me to hit it again? Because I will. I'm just kidding. Yeah, yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, so Global Entrepreneurship Week is it happens in 180 countries. It's actually 40,000 events all around the world, all in 1 week. And the way that happens is incredible community organizers and state coordinators who volunteer a lot of their time connecting all the resources so everybody can put their events up all under one global calendar. So this is a great way for us to not necessarily compete, but informally show the world like kind of what we're up to here in Las Vegas. And one of those things that's really powerful is we have great startup communities in North Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas City, and even all around the world that are going to be hosting anywhere from 1 to 5 to the people on the leaderboard right now already have over 100 events that are happening in some communities like Kansas City and things like that. So all we've been trying to do here in Las Vegas and greater Nevada is really connect the people of our community so we can show the world who we really are. It's more than just the strip. It's more than just the conferences. That is a big part of what we do. But there's an amazing startup community. There's an amazing small business community, makers, veteran entrepreneurs, women entrepreneurs, all that stuff. And this is really the best opportunity for us to celebrate that by all of us coming and working together. The theme this year is Together We Build. And I'm really excited to see the things that everybody's working on and how we can form new alliances, new partnerships, and new community events that really will take us to the next chapter of our ecosystem. Yeah, so that's it in short. That was just right off the cuff. I feel like I feel good about that.
Excellent.
So the way that people can get involved, there's really two ways. One, you can go to the international site, which is gew.co, gew.co, or you can go to the state page and learn more about it. It's www.gewnevada.com. You'll see a bunch of the different partners and the people that are involved, as well as some of the different links to the calendars. And it's absolutely free to be a part of Global Entrepreneurship Week. All you have to do is, if you're hosting an event in November, especially that week, November 17th through the 23rd, post your event up. What we'll do is we'll use some of our local partners like Alter New Media, or is it? I always mix it up. New Alter Media. I always flip it. I always flip it both ways, but Nadia and Lauren have always done a really great job at doing press releases and really getting the word out there. We've got a lot of community partners that have stepped up in so many different ways. And this year we've got lots of different categories of entrepreneurs that are all coming together. So we have, Asian entrepreneurs, we have veteran entrepreneurs, even a term that most people aren't familiar with, encore entrepreneurs. Those are people that start businesses after they've actually retired. So a great opportunity for everyone to be involved or just go out and support. I think there's going to be a lot of really cool events. Here at Tech Alley, it happens to fall, even though it's that Saturday before the official Global Entrepreneurship Week, we're going to get a big stage out here in the courtyard and really try to take it to a different level and have some cool keynote speakers. We'll cut some ribbons. We'll probably even shoot some confetti cannons off into the atmosphere.
Woo, confetti cannons.
I almost want to do fireworks just so we get in trouble. And then people are like, what was this party? And it's like, oh, it's kind of like negative PR, but for a good reason. I'm totally kidding. Nadia, Lauren, that was a joke. I'm not really going to do that. But
I don't know why it works.
But we might.
It works.
Yeah, it might.
Look at how much attention people get from people who hate them.
Yeah, right.
Versus how much they get from people who like them. So I'm all for it. I say real cannons.
Real cannons.
Real cannons.
There we go.
We'll just we'll aim them over the tattoo shop. We don't want to hit the tattoo shop across the street, but they don't use the railroad tracks anymore, right?
He definitely
Sometimes, okay,
he
maybe
definitely
we
cannot
won't
answer
maybe
that
we won't
question.
aim him at the railroad tracks, but
He cannot formally confirm or deny.
confirm or deny. That's okay.
Great. We had there was a young lady who was
She
gonna
is. She's
talk
standing right over there.
before.
She's talking to Mike right now, so we'll let her finish that
Cool.
conversation. But yeah, so I wasn't listening to most of that because I was checking to see how our video
You know
quality
all the
was.
stuff.
But yeah, Global Entrepreneurship Week is coming up. I know there's more great announcements coming out.
Yeah.
So
Stay tuned.
So hey Rose, you ready to come talk to us? Okay.
All right.
All right, we're gonna get Dave to jump out. We're gonna get Rose to jump in. She's a really amazing young lady who has a couple of things coming up coming up that she wants to talk to us about, and I have a lot of questions for her about what she's working on. So Rose, have a seat right here, and let's get this microphone right in front of your face. You want to get it about a fist away from your face. Keep it right there. That's great. Like my fist, not your fist.
Okay.
So
So,
your
yeah,
fist is probably
okay,
a little
yeah,
small,
it's a little
but
tiny.
yeah, it's great. So you are a high school student.
Yes.
Where do you go to school?
I go to Southeast Korean Technical Academy, and I'm a senior.
Okay. And what are you here to tell us about today?
I'm here to talk about my robotics team and also the events that we have coming up. So I'm part of Paradise Robotics. We are an FRC team, so First Robotics,
Okay.
and we are 6 years old, so we're still a young team,
Mhm.
but we are here just to talk about our events and one of our bigger
Okay.
events coming up, Girls in Tech.
Okay. So I have so many questions. I can tell Shaq, you're over there. You have a million questions. I can tell. I'll try to represent as best I can. Tell me first, what is First Robotics? Because I know all this stuff because I'm like a fake tech reporter. I don't really know, but so the audience who's watching knows what First Robotics is.
Yeah. So First Robotics is an organization to inspire the next generation of innovators and engineers. They are more than 20 years old and they have inspired over 20 million people.
Mhm.
Currently, they have about 45,000 teams over 3 levels.
Mhm.
So they have 3 levels for kids in all grades.
Okay.
I'm actually going to an elementary school event right after this to help teach them. And so they just inspire kids to go into STEM and go into robotics. And I would never be going into engineering if First What didn't exist.
Yeah. So how did you get involved in robotics?
Yeah, so actually in 5th grade, I was on a First Lego League team, so the youngest level of robotics. I was on that team, and then I went to middle school and they didn't really have a team, so I didn't do it all 3 years. I did volleyball.
Mhm.
Freshman year, I did volleyball, and then I was in my robotics class. My robotics teacher was like, "You should do robotics," and he kept bugging me about it. So I was like, "I guess I'll try." And I just fell in love with the program. I fell in love with my team, and it's something I am so grateful for.
So now you go to like a STEM high school, right? You
I go to a career and technical academy,
okay.
and so we have a lot of our majors are STEM. I'm actually in medical professions, so
Okay.
nothing to do. So I actually like far away from robotics, and that's why I thought I would never be doing this. I always wanted to be a nurse, and so we have a few other STEM like related majors. We have construction, automotive, and then advanced manufacturing, which is our robotics major, just became a major last year, and so that is what I've been involved in. I love advanced manufacturing, and that's where all of our robotics workshop is and where we work out of.
So why did you take robotics? Does everyone have to take robotics class, or did you just you're like, I think this will be an easy elective? What's the story with that?
Yeah, so I have an older brother. He went to the school. He did robotic. He was in like that class, but I was also like, I'm kind of miss it a little bit, and so I was like, I should do it and just see what happens. Like maybe it'll be an easy elective, and maybe I'll actually like it and want to do it the next 4 years.
Plus robots, right?
Robots,
so,
fun.
So when you were in 5th grade, how did you get involved in that? Did you have like a friend who was doing it? Were your parents like, was it an ultimatum of like you have to do an extracurricular activity or you're in trouble? What was the story there?
I was in the GATE program, so the Gifted and Talented Education. And my teacher was actually she was starting a robotics team, and we were kind of late. It was like September-ish, and that's late for FLL teams to kind of get started. And she was like, "Hey Rose, would you like to do this?" And I was like, "Sure, why not? What could happen?" And so I did it, and I'm very grateful for her like to push me to do it. And it was actually really nice because though I was one of 2 girls on that team, but both the mentors were female, and so that was like really inspiring to me. Like, hey, I can actually be in STEM.
Yeah, that's really inspiring to me too, because my whole career, I studied engineering in college. I did engineering for 20 years in the Air Force, and there were not a lot of women involved in that. And so it's not only is it really great to me that your teachers are encouraging young women to get into STEM, but you had teachers who were women who were the mentors for this team, and they were the ones encouraging you. So I think that's really great.
And throughout like the last 6 years I've been in robotics, like I've definitely seen like pushback from being a woman, but I've also had like one of my my mentor right now, she's a female and she's inspired me every day, and it's like pushed us to create just more diversity on our team and in our program, and our leadership team is almost fully female now,
Which is really great.
and it's amazing, and our technical team is 50% female now.
Guys, get off the couch. The ladies are beating you. The ladies are beating you. Get off the couch. No, don't. Let the ladies do it. So First Robotics is the big worldwide program, and that's the league, I guess you could say, you compete in. So what does a year look like as part of a First Robotics team?
Yeah.
What are you guys going to be doing? Because we're in October now. You guys have been in school 2 months now. So what have you been doing since the start of the season? When does the season start? What have you been doing since the start of the season? And then what are the events coming up for you?
Yeah. So we are actually a First Robotics competition team. So we're the high school level of First. So our kickoff technically isn't till January 10th.
Okay.
And so it is very late into our year, but we have to train our new members right from the beginning. So as soon as school started, I think the second week of school, we had our first informational meeting. We introduced ourselves to all the kids who thought maybe they could join robotics and maybe they wanted to. And so since then, we've been having workshops every single week, teaching these kids how to build a robot, how to program, how to design, how to prototype, how to do business. And so we've been teaching these kids ever since. And so we're currently building our off-season robot right now to just introduce these kids and show them what they're going to be doing. And then once January 10th comes, we'll have our kickoff. And so we know nothing about what this game is going to be. It's a complete mystery to us. All we know is the name Rebuilt. It's a complete mystery. And so on January 10th, we'll find out what we have to create a robot for, what we have to program it to do, what we have to design it to do. And then we have 6 weeks to build, program, and learn how to operate this robot. And then we go compete it. Right now we're going to the Northern Arizona Regional up in Flagstaff.
Okay.
But yeah, that's kind of what our year looks like, in hopes to qualify for the World Championship at the end of April.
So you guys have a preseason where you build your team like any other sports team would do, which is really, really great. So since you don't know what's going to happen this year coming up, tell us a little bit about last year and what the team did, what your robot was, how did you do in competition?
So last year's theme was water. So it was a water game. There was sadly no water involved, even though everyone wanted it.
It seems like an ill-named theme, but go on.
So our name was Reefscape, and so we had to design and build a robot to pick up PVC pipes and a large ball. The PVC pipes were the coral, the ball was the algae. We had to take the algae off of a reef, so it was a circular shaped thing, and it had branches sticking out of it.
Let me see if I can paint the picture.
Yeah.
So there's this rickety PVC structure, and you had to build a robot to remove a ball from this rickety PVC structure without knocking it over or pulling pieces off.
Without taking any coral or PVC pipe off of it.
Okay.
And then we had to shoot that ball into a net.
There's always a shooting the ball thing, or launching a catapult with robotics.
Yes, but I do think this year, because last year was more of a picking and placing, so I think this year might be more of a shooting.
Okay.
Because it's been going
exciting
back and forth every year. But
exciting.
And then we had to have a climb at the end of the game, and so our robot had to climb about 1/4 of an inch off the ground without anything touching the floor. So no corners, not your bumper, nothing could touch the ground, and that was one of the biggest challenges to get through, because it had to hold the cage had to hold your whole body weight, the whole robot's weight, without touching.
How much did your robot weigh? Do you remember?
Our robot, I think it was max, so I think it was 120.
120 pounds?
120 pounds.
You guys built a 120-pound robot that could lift itself up and hold itself up off the ground.
Yes, and sometimes, a lot of the time, it exceeds the weight limit, and we have to figure out how to fix that, because we can't play if it doesn't meet the
I,
qualifications.
I'm looking back at my career in the Air Force and like working with like I don't think I could grab some of my friends from the Air Force. We could go, could we build a 120-pound robot that could lift itself up off the ground and shoot a ball and not knock over PVC pipe? And that'd be a big project for us, because mainly because I've been out of the game for a long time. But yeah, I mean that's a significant engineering challenge.
Yeah.
Plus, and then the lifting it up is, and then you have to stay under a certain amount of weight. So every bit of structure you add to try to make it stronger, you've got to find something to take away,
Yeah.
right? So
That was definitely one of the hardest challenges last year because we had a kind of elevator system on our robot,
Mhm.
and so we had a 3-tiered one, and a lot of the times it would break, like the elevator system would collapse, and we had to figure out a way to make that not happen, but also not add a lot of weight. So I think we put 2 strings on the back, 2 wires to kind of hold it up and have it operate better. So it didn't break, but we couldn't have that extra weight on it.
right. So you guys are learning a lot about engineering
Yeah.
trade-off in these competitions, which is really cool. Now, you said right now you are studying nursing. You're along the medical track, nursing. Is that what you're going to? Because you talked about going into engineering. What's coming up for you after senior year of high school?
Yeah, so I'm currently obviously applying to all these colleges, but I think I'm going into biomedical engineering.
Okay.
Kind of a mix of both. I've loved nursing my entire life. Like I've wanted to help people, but engineering just like stole my heart, and doing the advanced manufacturing program. I just love working hands-on with like machines and everything. So I'm very excited to do biomedical engineering and kind of mix both of my worlds together.
Yeah, when I went to college before the turn of the century, I went to Boston University, and they were one of the very first biomedical engineering programs in the country. They actually, the dean of the College of Engineering sold our supersonic wind tunnel to buy more lab facilities for the biomedical engineers. So the aerospace engineers lost their supersonic wind tunnel for the biomedical
Great.
engineers. But looking at how technology progressed over the last 30 years, it was probably the right call, because biomedical engineering is really where the future is going to be at. You know, we haven't had a lot of advances in the physics of aviation and space flight. So you know, one more wind tunnel is not going to make that much of a difference.
But
So-
yeah, I'm excited. I think I will probably do prosthetics or surgical engineering, making surgical robots, hopefully. So,
Fantastic. Okay. You are in high school. I'm really curious about this. How are you using, besides building robots, which is awesome enough, how are you using technologies like AI in what you're doing in school, in your studies? I'm really curious about that.
AI is definitely it's been very useful, especially, and like, not that I don't cheat with it. The
No one's
cheating
putting
scares
you on
me.
the spot. I assume, especially at a technical school like yours, there's some encouragement of
There's a
like
lot.
here's the rules, but otherwise go nuts.
Yeah, like don't cheat. But a lot of my teachers are like, hey, find a way, like make AI work for you. I use it a lot to grade my assignments. I'll put my rubric in there, and then I'll put an essay in there, and it'll grade my assignment for me.
Did I catch all the things I'm supposed to do?
Yeah.
Okay, very cool.
And I
Yeah.
also use it to write speeches. For robotics, we have to speak in front of judges. And so that creates like a baseline structure of what we want to say and how we want to say it in a good flow. And then we go in and edit it for ourselves.
That's awesome. Okay, so you are very quickly leaving to go to another event for elementary school
Yes.
kids, right? We're going to get you out of here on time. So you are a mentor to young people in the community. So tell us about this event you're going to, and then I have a couple more questions about what it's like to be a mentor to young kids while you're doing this. So
Yeah, so we're hosting a FLL scrimmage today. So that's the youngest kids in robotics. And they already have their season, they already had their kickoff, and their events start in a few weeks. So today at our school, we're hosting a scrimmage to just help them and guide them like what they're going to be doing during the actual competition, because some of them have never competed before, and it's going to be a brand new scene for them. So we're going to help them with things like programming, with creating their robots. Some of them need to add attachments to it, so we can help them with it. And some of them are going to do judging sessions. And then my favorite part is every single year at these events, I do an MC role. And so
okay.
while they're actually competing with their robot, I get to encourage them and like tell the audience about what they're doing, and that's my favorite
Well,
part.
I should just if you didn't have to go, I could let you do this for the rest of the day. You could host the live stream for the rest of the day.
Yes, I just love I love presenting, and for like I said, for robotics we have to present for judges, and I've been doing that for the past 2 years, just talking to judges, telling them about what we do, and I just love talking about how we impact the community and
Mm-hmm.
how that impacts me in a way.
What's your so I assume you're working with a lot of young girls as a mentor as well. So what advice do you give them? These young girls, whether they're in high school or younger, what advice do you give the young girls, both when it comes to robotics and career wise?
Speak up in a room you're not sure about, because oftentimes girls will think oftentimes girls will have 80% of the knowledge, and they think they need 100% of the knowledge just to speak in a room, when men, a lot of the times, they don't have as much as that knowledge, but they're more confident to speak in the room. So just speak up. Even if you're wrong, that's okay. Like,
Yep.
I've been wrong many a times before, but I'm glad my voice was heard. And your voice isn't going to be heard if you don't speak.
Yeah, I say this all the time to young women, women of all ages, like when they're applying for jobs, when they're applying for like executive positions in their companies, and I tell them, stop worrying about how much of the qualifications. Like all the guys who are competing for this job haven't even looked at that. They looked at the job title and the salary and said, "This sounds cool and pays well. I'm in." And I know, coming from a guy, that's not always great advice, but I think coming from you, that's really great advice. Is, look, just go do it. Stop worrying about if you're checking all the boxes.
Yeah, because the worst they can say is no. And I've learned that a lot over the past 4 years.
Yep.
The worst I can be told is no by a sponsor. I could go up to someone and they could just tell me no, they can't give me money, but they could also say, yeah.
I bet you
can
don't
give
hear
you
no a lot.
1,000. Sometimes. It's hard to get told no.
Oh yeah,
And
for sure.
It's hard to be like struggling to get something, but I just have to keep going and I have to keep asking, because if I don't ask, it's not going to happen.
Absolutely. So is there anything else you want to leave us with before we let you go? Because I know you have to get moving to your next thing.
No, just speak up in a room, and we're hosting Girls in Tech.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that.
So we are hosting our Girls in Tech event. It's our 3rd annual on December 4th. And we bring 120 middle schoolers to our school to learn about a bunch of different STEM topics. In the past, we've had pneumatics workshops, DNA finding workshops, 3D printing workshops. And so throughout the year, these girls just get invested in it. And throughout the event, they will find out, wow, this is really cool. And we've introduced them to industry leaders before. Dina Titus has come to our events. Miss Clark County has come to our events. And so we just like to introduce them to these people that to show them hey, you could do this too. This could be you. And so we're hosting on December 4th, and I'm looking for sponsors right now.
Okay.
To fund the event, to get the girls food, get them cool swag items like lanyards and pins, and get them cool tech items maybe for prizes at the event.
All right, great. Well, we will, in addition to this live stream, I do a every Monday morning tech rundown of what's going on in the scene here. So we will definitely make sure, you said it's November 4th? December 4th. So we will keep promoting that event every Monday in Vegas Startup Scene until that comes around.
Thank you.
And we will link up where people can connect with you as well. So tell everybody where they can connect with you, whether it's for the robotics stuff, whether it's for the school stuff, and especially for the Women in Tech event coming up.
Yeah, so our team Instagram is FRC Pair of Dice, so you can follow us there. Our website is pairofdice.vegas, so you can also follow us there. And then all of our emails, all of our contact information will also be on pairofdice.vegas, so you can find a lot of us there.
Great, so check that out. Guys, this young lady is coming for your jobs. Watch out. Get off the couch. Yeah. All right. Thank you, Rose. Thank you so much for joining us today. It was a pleasure to meet you. Good luck with your event today, and good luck with the event coming up December 4th. And I hope we'll get to talk to you again between now and then.
Thank you.
All right.
Leave this with you too.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, let me hold this up. So this is for the Pair of Dice team, and these are some of the cool sponsors they've got on the back of that. So these girls are not messing around. They are, she was talking about getting the sponsors. These are the sponsors she's gotten. These girls are not messing around. So thank you again, Rose, for joining us. I can't wait to hear more about what this is going on. And I think we might want to introduce her to Ikram. You want to sit down and talk, Shaq? Okay. Well, come on. You're a friend of the show. Everyone loves to see you on here. So thank you again for joining us last month and giving us a lot of probably a lot more than you intended rundown
gosh. No,
of
but it's
what
always good.
we talked.
Good
No, it's
intel.
always good. There's so many good things going on in the ecosystem. So many good things going on in the ecosystem that there were two things going on the same time Wednesday night, and I could only get to one of them. So
Yeah, no, I mean, so quick here, Carly, Melissa, if you're saying hi, just, seeing this, hello. But yeah, no, Shaq Cruz with the Nevada Governor's Office of Economic Development, Office of Entrepreneurship, first right to start office in the nation. So we're part of this national coalition to really elevate entrepreneurship in the United States, specifically here in Nevada. But yeah, dude, it's a hot market. Len Jessup, I think that's his, narrative, and we're building the capital pool here. We've got Rose cultivating talent.
you can't throw a rock without seeing Len Jessup at something,
Absolutely.
right? They just
Len
had
is
a
everywhere.
Vegas Tech Summit this week.
Yep.
And the news article that was in the paper today about Vegas Tech Summit, all over it, Len Jessup. So I got to get him on my big interview show.
Absolutely.
I have his team's contact info. I just got to reach out and get that set up. So
Absolutely. I guess what's new with you actually. I mean, I feel like you're doing Overwatch for the whole tech ecosystem, but what are you working on?
what am I working on? So fun thing for me, last week I was just up doing a managing conflict workshop with the Air Force at Creech Air Force Base. So
Nice.
so all active duty folks. So even during the government shutdown, those Creech Air Force Base is doing their job, and B, we're still doing leadership development with the active duty folks
Glad to
while we're
see it.
there. So yeah, I go up there. They bring me in about twice a year to work with what's called their flight lead program. So it's new. It's lieutenants and new captains who are about to be flight commanders for the first time, and senior airmen and new sergeants who are about to be flight sergeants for the first time. And they do a whole week of kind of like orientation to being a flight lead.
Oh,
And
geez.
right in the middle of that, on Wednesday morning, they bring me in for 4 hours to do 4 hours of managing conflict with them. So we show up at 8 a.m. I get up on stage and I introduce myself and then say, we're starting the day. We're putting you into conflict with each other immediately. We play a game for about half an hour where they kind of have to butt heads against each other. And then we,
So cool.
yeah, and then we get into a bunch of stuff of, why it's important to embrace conflict and not avoid it. And there's opportunity in conflict, which we all know as entrepreneurs, but isn't really a lesson that makes it out to the rest of the world, right? So
Very true.
and then it's just tools and skills, including negotiation skills, to help them go in and mostly deal with each other on base, because they're all from different squadrons,
I see.
and they're
yeah.
going to be the ones who are starting to build the relationships and deal with each other on base to get those bigger picture things done on base. So
That's cool. So it seems like, on Nellis or Creech,
Yep.
there's different departments, different squadrons, almost like its own walled garden ecosystem.
it kind of is, yeah. For those who don't know, a military base is really kind of like its own city. So
Yeah.
like the stuff that's visible to public is like the flying operations,
Sure,
but
yeah.
there's
Flying overhead.
logistics, there's supply, there's vehicle stuff, there's grounds maintenance, there's all there's IT, there's the cyber protection, there's all that kind of stuff, and all that exists on a base. And when something needs to happen on a base, it's usually like one of these captains or lieutenants or one of these sergeants who gets asked to go make something happen. And then they've got to go figure out who are all the people who are like me on the base that I need to talk to make it happen. And
Wow.
they've got instructions from their boss, and other people have instructions from their bosses, and the captains and the majors and the sergeants kind of have to figure it out. And because like if you don't figure it out amongst each other, and you go to your bosses and say we can't figure it out, then the bosses are going to figure it out, and nobody's going to be happy with how they figured it out. So
Jeez.
yeah,
So it's got to be close to ground truth.
right.
And so sergeants and captains, they're not necessarily, like 5-10 years in. Like, so
They're probably about 4 or 5 years in. The folks we're doing this with, they are young, and that really hit me
pressure.
this time going in. Like it hasn't hit me. I'll tell one story in a second, but it hasn't hit me how young these kids. This is the youngest batch of kids I think we've had yet.
You were 06 Colonel? Back
I was in 05
05.
Lieutenant Colonel,
Wow.
and I got out in 2015, so I've been out for 10 years.
Jeez.
So that's how old I am, right?
getting
I came
younger.
in 1995.
Okay.
So the kids that we were working with came in probably COVID or just post COVID. Some of them might have been prior enlisted, or some of them might have been in a little longer. So, but these are people in their mid to late 20s that we're working with on
Wow.
this stuff.
And they've got the responsibilities of probably large projects. Like, what kind of civilian equivalent would these captains and
It's
sergeants have?
it's so hard to say. They will have, if you're a flight commander, depending on the squadron you're in, you might have anywhere from half a dozen to 50 or 60 people in your flight. So they
Slot your
might
companies
be
here already.
like, I'm
Civilian
trying to
side.
remember what the comm lieutenants did or the comm flight commanders did when I was in. Like, they might manage the whole like network. Like, the internal network for the base will be a captain who manages that whole network, right?
So 5 years after college.
5 years after college, if that,
Yeah.
they are in there like, okay, you manage the network.
Wow.
So you manage the whole network. Like all the cell phone stuff, all the mobile phone stuff, like that's probably one captain whose flight, in addition to like land mobile radio and other stuff, manages all those contracts and manages all the issuing of devices and maintaining of device. That's probably one captain who manages all of that.
So you're telling me probably a 27, 30-year-old just responsible for all this. And how do we tap into that talent? I think to have those guys with that experience.
Well,
gotta bring 'em to civilian
that's
side.
why that's why Dave and I got involved in Vets in Tech, right? And it kind of came, almost 3 years ago now. But you're familiar with our ecosystem here, and our ecosystem is growing, and we've got, like, we had
Sure,
just
sure.
had Rose on. We have like a lot of great technical talent
that
in
was
town,
incredible.
right?
She's
Wasn't
awesome.
that great? So like, I've been involved in the start. I can't believe it. We were talking to the Startup NV event on Wednesday. I've been involved in the tech community here for 10 years, and I never thought I'd get involved in something like this, but been
Fun's
involved.
a way. The universe kind of guides you to where.
You end up
feel
where
like
you're
it should be.
supposed to be. So, um, so one of the big challenges is we've got lots of entrepreneurs with lots of great ideas, but we don't have enough like CTOs to go around for all of them, right? Enough
True.
people who can do the coding, enough people who can do this is how we build a tech stack to make this idea happen, right? We don't have we're getting better at it. We don't have that right now, and that's why we got really excited when we learned about Vets in Tech, because Vets in Tech does that. Vets in Tech gives the smart kids that talent inside the military, whether they already come from a tech background or a tech job or not, gives them that, has these free courses they can take online or in person. Vets in Tech like has a program management certification now you can do that veterans can do through them. So you can get all this through. But what was really exciting to me about Vets in Tech was creating the future CTOs for our tech ecosystem here in Vegas, getting a couple of hundred kids between our two bases and our Guard and Reserve folks and all that. A couple of hundred kids get out of the military here in Nevada every year. And imagine if we could just keep like 10 of them. Like, they don't go back to their
Just 10 of the best
hometowns. They don't
ones,
go work
like a
for a
VC.
contractor. They go, like, we can get them to come work for a tech company here in Vegas, or work for one of the resorts in a tech job, or work for, now we're starting to get all the, as well as anyone, all the tech companies that are starting to come here and do
Lot of
really great
interest.
things. So that's why Vets in Tech was so attractive to us, because we can show, with Vets in Tech, we can help attract the businesses here, like you guys are doing in GoEd and LVCVA or LVGEA
yep.
does, and
Incredible
all that.
work they're doing.
Attract the businesses here, because to me it's really important that it's not just, hey, we'd really love you to stay because we want to take advantage of your talent and have you be the CTOs of the future. But it's important to me, we have the training for you through Vets in Tech and other programs to help you get there, and it costs you nothing. And then also we have a pipeline to not just jobs, but a career in tech. But selfishly for me, it's always like, where are our future CTOs coming from? This talent in the military, this talent at Nellis Creech Air Force Base is a great source of it. If we can just show a pipeline that people can have a tech career here and keep those kids in town.
That's amazing. It's I think the role of GoEd is try to cultivate an ecosystem that drives higher paying jobs. It was created 2011, post recession, to diversify the economy away from mining in the north and gaming in the south. But it's turned into this massive ecosystem, economic development authorities bringing in new companies, cultivating the right talent we have, and trying to see what we can create in this fusion mixer of talent here.
And it's done all of those things, right? We've got bigger companies moving in going, oh, we'd love to take advantage of what you guys have here. And now there's a mix of, they're bringing some people with them, but they're also opening up some new jobs to the local folks and that kind of thing. But we're starting to develop that talent pool that they need here. And then we've got some amazing things, amazing startups that are starting to get funded through Desert Forge, through Battleborn Growth, through all those kinds of things. We've got Waver, we've got Lucy Hub, we've got Who else?
Oh, Otzi, Ultion.
Otzi. Yeah, we've got these startups that are, yeah, they're a team of, half a dozen to a dozen people, but they've gotten funding before. They're on the path to get more funding. They're growing. They're doing all the right things they need to do to scale. And when those companies scale, they're going to need more people. And what I really love is we've got a bunch of founders who are committed to doing things in Nevada. Right, because it would be just as easy for some of these companies to go, okay, we're going to open an office in the Bay Area and ultimately migrate up there, or New York or Miami or any other ecosystem, right? And we've got a number of founders who are really committed to. I started in Vegas. I want this company to grow up in Las Vegas and support the community as well.
It's amazing. What are some of the best kept secrets you have in the tech ecosystem about, why Nevada? Why here Las Vegas?
Why Nevada? Why here Las Vegas? I think
this is off the script. I didn't.
No, that's okay. Well, there's no script for what we do here, so it's okay. I'm not usually asked. I'm usually the one asking that question, but no, I think I
learned that sales trick. Flip the script.
Yeah.
I don't come from sales. I'm trying to learn.
No, same, right? No, I think you really talked about it best, or talked about it very well. It's that small town feel, right? You are one introduction away from someone who can really, really help you here. And it's just being out there and being engaged with people. Yes, there are 2.5 million people here in Southern Nevada, plus, however many else. I mean, over 3 million, almost 4 million people in the state, but everyone here really wants to see everyone succeed.
So true.
Right. That's always been true. What I've seen happen more is now we're really starting to get an ecosystem. We're starting to get people showing up to each other's stuff, people getting to know each other, people hanging out with each other. And now those introductions are getting easier because you're getting great people who are like, oh, I know someone you can talk to about that. And 10 years ago, everyone was really head down, focused on their own thing. And that has changed. I think that's one of the really great things. The other great thing, and I have talked about this before, but I think this is a really well-kept secret. You know how I feel about market research and product market fit, right? We've talked about it all the time. Guys, go do it. Don't start building your pitch deck till you've asked 100 people, because if you've really got something, if you go ask 100 people, hey, do you have this problem? And would this thing I'm proposing solve your problem? If you go ask 100 and they have the problem, and your solution's a good one, 4 or 5 of those people out of that 100 are going to say, how can I buy it today? And then you have to say, well, you can't buy it today. I'm doing my market research. But we have this amazing, we have 2 amazing things here. We have the Las Vegas Strip and we have downtown Las Vegas. And if you are a startup founder in Las Vegas and Southern Nevada, you can go do your 100 people in a couple of hours. You could leave Tech Alley here today after watching the angel investor speech, because they're going to talk about that, right? You could go this afternoon down to the Strip or down to Fremont Street, or just walk around the Arts District here, and you could, within 3 or 4 hours, you could have talked to a couple of people. You could have a list of questions, like tick off the answers, that kind of stuff. And whether they have the problem, whether they like the idea, you're going to gain that knowledge. You can do it in an afternoon here. And the best part of it is, if you do it on the Strip or on Fremont Street, or even here in the Arts District, you are going to get this amazing cross section of people from all over the world, right? Which a lot of other communities don't have, right? Boulder's an amazing tech ecosystem. They're doing or Austin, they're an amazing tech ecosystem. But if you go ask 100 people on a Saturday afternoon on 6th Street in Austin, you're getting a lot of UT students, right? So which is great. But here we have this amazing cross section of people from all kinds of backgrounds with all kinds of problems, and you can meet them all without even moving. You could go stand in Toshiba Plaza, right? You don't even need to move, and you can talk to 100 people. So that is one of the huge advantages we have here, is you can do your market research in an afternoon with a widely statistically varied cross section of people from around the world. And that's something you can put in your pitch deck. I did ask 100 people, here's all the places they were from, and here's what they said.
That's so cool. No, I think access is one of the things we're hearing a lot of. You have access to your pipeline, maybe access to investors, access to regional markets here, access to your customers. But my next question is, and sorry if I'm kind of not following the suit here, but if
There's no rules here.
yeah, it's Vegas. This is old Vegas on a podcast.
Yeah.
If everything goes right with what you're seeing in the ecosystem, what does 2035 look like?
2035.
Yeah, 10 years.
In my
or take.
perfect world, 2035, if we stay on the path we're on, we have had it's 2025 right now.
I think so. Yeah.
By 2035, and there's a couple companies that I think are real good candidates this right now. We've had 2 or 3 IPOs.
True. Oh, yes, yeah.
We have had a dozen or 2 dozen good exits for some of these companies, whether they're bought up by another company, they IPO, whatever it is. But and then we're attracting that attention. I would also love to see us build 4 or 5 really great incubator accelerator programs with great mentorship from the company, from the founders who are doing great work in the community now, as part of the mentorship and the leadership and the guidance, like the boards of those accelerators. I would love to see those programs. I would love to see more of those. So by 2035, we've got a handful of incubator accelerators that are just cranking out high potential, high growth startups. And they have really great both business and tech mentoring as part of those accelerators that are given people so they can go from idea to, I got a real tech stack and I got a real business model that has the potential for high growth. We've had a couple of IPOs, we've had a bunch of exits. I would love to see one of the many things that goes on here, and there's a lot of candidates for this, but like the Las Vegas version of South by Southwest.
What would that be?
Yeah. And there's a number of things going on right now that could turn into that.
Take some notes.
yeah. I would love to see that. The Las Vegas version of South by Southwest, maybe opposite side of the year from South by Southwest, and
they have a place to be. The guys
but,
who go spy it.
Yeah, I mean the best thing would be
That'd be so cool.
when founders are out in other ecosystems, or if you're a founder like in a small town somewhere, the best possible thing would be someone could say to you, have you considered Vegas? Like when people around the country, around the world are saying Vegas might be a really great spot for you to start your startup.
And that's a genuine, like, have you considered moving?
Yeah,
here?
have you considered moving to Vegas?
Vegas.
They're doing all the right things. And one of the really great signs that we're doing something right here is Tech Alley, and we have Tech Alley in other cities now, but New York City has had a great tech ecosystem, established tech ecosystem for a long time. And someone in New York City said, we want to bring Tech Alley to New York City.
That's incredible.
What a great sign, right? That we're doing something right here in Las Vegas. That's something we're doing here. People in an established tech ecosystem want to bring something we're doing here. And all the credit goes to Josh and his team here for creating a really consistent, high quality event that people want to come to get that kind of attention.
Absolutely. And I don't know if Josh, has some sort of weather machine. I think he's 54-0 on bright sunny days.
Yeah, I don't know how he does it. What are we 54 this month, Josh? Yeah. I always guess the number because I had it right a couple months ago, but I think we're 54. So 54 months, never missed a month, never had to reschedule, never had to find a new place. It's consistent, and I think that's one of the number one things. And then 2035, what I really hope we see is very much like a Bay Area or Boulder or Austin ecosystem where all the founders know each other. All the founders are hanging out at the coffee shops. They're all hanging out at the bars. They're going to each other's weddings. They're where everybody's just saying, look at the cool thing they're doing over there. Good for them. Or
How do we get notes from Vegas?
we're in that space too. We got to up our game because they're doing some really cool stuff, and we gotta catch up and leapfrog them. So
That's cool.
that's what I hope to see in 2035.
I think we can make it.
I think so.
Yeah.
10 years is an eternity.
I think we underestimate. What's that saying? Underestimate how much you can do in 10 years.
I agree. I think if we we are on a real nice trajectory right now. I think we'll far surpass that. But that's that would be a real nice, comfortable 2035 for our ecosystem here.
Absolutely.
So
Well, Jason, thank you so much.
Thank you,
Really
Shaq. It's
appreciate
always a
it, sir.
pleasure to talk to you. So
Thanks
thank
for,
you. Thank you for keeping us in mind when events are coming up and bringing us in on some of the meetings that the state is having and all that kind of stuff. Because it's great info for me and for Dave to be talking to other people in the ecosystem of, oh, you should talk to Shaq about this, or you should talk to somebody about this because they're doing something you might be interested in. But also just so we can bring it out to the rest of the world on these live streams and the Monday rundowns and that kind of thing.
True. I'm still very much a new guy in the tech space. The Office of Entrepreneurship's only been around since 2023. So
Yep.
thank you for helping me do my own market research on what some of the local leaders want to see in the world here in Las Vegas and how we can export that out.
Glad to help. That's what we're all here for. All right,
you
thanks,
guys,
man.
Absolutely.
We'll see ya.
Cheers.
Whew. All right. What time is it? It is 11:50. We are going to be wrapping up the first round of talks here in about 25 minutes. Lunch will be starting here soon. Hey, you want to jump on, man? I know you've always got a ton of cool stuff going on. So
Oh, thank you. It's been a minute. I think we did this back in May.
yeah, it's been a while. Everyone, welcome Sonny back.
Hey, it's going.
So what do you have going on? What do you want to talk about
So
today?
last time I was here, I was talking about launching my software called Kiwi. It's a dance and martial arts studio.
Yes.
And then so I kind of had to delay that. And because what happened was, I'm a solo developer, right? And I was like, man, I would really like, it's an enterprise level app, right? So even though it's amazing, because it's enterprise, got like 20 apps, really platform,
Mm-hmm.
and, it just takes time to learn, right? So because of that, I was like, I really would like to see if I can make some AI stuff to automate this stuff. And that's what I've been doing the last 3 or 4 months. So something, right time for everything. So August 5th, ChatGPT open source 2 models.
Yes.
And the 20 billion, 120 billion parameter, I've just become a super expert in them. And I built my own AI assistant. So I'm going to relaunch the app in November, and it's going to have sales and support. So, you go to a landing page. So I'm also going to off-branch this as a separate product as well.
Mhm.
There's a lot of startups, they need this as well.
Mhm.
And so, if you go to a landing page and you're like, is this product for me? I don't know. It'd be awesome if you could just talk to an AI, not just type, but talk and
Yeah.
hear. And, and it has to be really fast. It has to speak within 2 seconds for it to be conversational. So I got that working. I just got done showing a demo of that.
That's fantastic. So
Yeah.
I'm going to make my pitch here because I am a very auditory person, but I'm also a very visual person, right?
Yeah.
And some things, like I love being able to talk to an LLM. I love
Yeah.
being able to talk to that.
Mhm.
And I'm not super concerned about how fast they respond to me. I kind of like the little bit of a Star Trek thing of I
Yeah.
talk and then it goes, I'm thinking.
Yeah,
And then
exactly,
and then it comes back in 30 seconds or a minute or whatever.
yeah.
But sometimes I want to see it as well as have it describe to me
Yep.
what it's doing. And most of the models don't do that. They either talk to you or you can be
Yeah,
visual
and you bring up a
typing.
point. You bring up a good point. So I'm going to be integrating that as well. It's called Rich Media.
Okay.
And so, if they're like, hey, how does this feature work in your app? Blah, blah, blah. You would want to show a slideshow photos or a video clip, a link and a video clip. And
I
so
just
that's really
want
important.
to see like if we're building an outline for a script for a video, right?
Yeah.
I want you to describe. I want the AI to describe it to me,
Yeah.
but I can look at the outline and scan the outline visually while the AI is describing.
Yeah.
Like the AI could be like reading the words of the script to me, and I can be scanning the outline.
Oh, yeah.
That's the kind of stuff I want to be able to train an AI to show me certain things.
Yep.
So I can say to it, hey, stop for a second, show me while you talk to me.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I think you bring up an important point, and I do believe that's going to be the next layer of general LLM. Is not only just be able to speak, but it's going to feed into new ideas. Because an example I'm using, it's a fixed data. It's just only referencing the app as a reference. But if you're talking about writing a script that's modeling new data, then yeah, dynamically. And I would also believe that it would generate, stories, kind of like not as advanced as Sora. I don't think you need that, but at some point people will say, what about this kind of story? And it'll be like a vector cartoon,
Yeah.
kinda like South Park, and it just goes automatically and voice and everything.
I would love for some applications, just give me a stick drawing.
Yeah,
Just give me like a wireframe stick drawing of what's
Exactly,
going to happen. Another application I thought of is like show me on a visual calendar display of the
Yeah.
stuff we're talking, like if we're doing a timeline,
Yeah.
like show me on a visual calendar or like a whether it's the day or whether it's the
Yeah.
week or the month, show me, pop them all up on the calendar as you're talking about them.
Exactly. And-
That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about.
Exactly. And you're absolutely right. And the proof of this, just so you're aware, is the TV news.
Mhm.
Because when you watch the news, you don't see the person's face. You see the person's face and a visual reference. In. They're
got
like,
it.
"Oh, the president today, blah blah blah," and they show
Yep.
the picture of the president, whoever it is.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And so that, and you're right. And I believe that eventually that'll go into the glasses, right?
Yeah.
So as you're talking about, oh, I was in Paris and blah blah blah,
Yep.
then it will have a frame of reference of what you're talking about.
Yep. Show me the picture. Show me the map. Show me all
Exactly,
that
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
stuff. Yeah. What do you think about the glasses? Have you had a chance to play with the new
I
Meta glasses yet?
did a bunch of research this morning, so I know somebody who's deaf, and I'm actually going to be making a streaming caption glasses. And I just figured out the specs this morning, and it was pretty awesome. So it's only going to cost about $1,000, which is worth it. So I know somebody that, when I talk to them, I speak slower,
Mm-hmm.
and the goal is, can I just speak fluently? That's never happened before.
Right. Can you speak at your normal pace
Exactly.
and have the glasses caption it to them
Exactly. And I
in a way that's not choppy, so
Exactly.
so they can and
And
then they can always tell you, hey, the captioning's going too fast, slow down a little bit, right?
Exactly. And so what's interesting is I was kind of solving that problem with this voice AI, because part of my voice AI is the audio transcription. And I got that working pretty well.
Mhm.
I just got to have it streaming. But I asked ChatGPT, and I haven't built it, so I can't confirm it. But I asked ChatGPT and Claude and Grok, I asked multiple LLMs,
Mhm.
and they all say no. It should be like sub half second, live streaming. And so
I believe that's I heard Mark Zuckerberg on a podcast. It's from a few weeks. I just heard it this week. It's a new podcast called Access. Really good. Really
Okay.
tech heavy. Only been out. I think they have 4 or 5 episodes. But their very first episode was interviewing Mark Zuckerberg about the glasses. It was right around. I think it might have been right after he did the release.
yeah,
the-
what's
the
exciting
release.
about what I'm gonna do is that, and again, timing is everything. It's a little bit like Oculus. So
Mhm.
I don't know if you know that. That's I know you probably heard of Oculus.
Oh,
but-
I had a Meta Quest. So
Okay,
yeah.
yeah.
So which I haven't used in a long time, but I need to get back to playing with
So
that
what happened
stuff.
with Oculus is that the iPhone came out and
Mhm.
Android came out, and that just drove the price of accelerometers down.
Yep.
Then somebody who's 18, Palmer Luckey, can go ahead and make Oculus and become a billionaire, which is pretty crazy. So something similar is happening with NVIDIA. So there's a Jetson, and apparently has enough GPU
Mhm.
to fit a 7 billion parameter LLM. So mine's not just going to have captioning, but I'm going to able to add an LLM to it, so you can be smart about it. So it's going to do like vocal recognition. It's going to
Mhm.
remember your voice. It's so when it streams, it's going to say who is speaking, and if it doesn't know who's speaking, it could say, oh, this is older male, younger woman, whatever. And so just adding LLM, I don't even know what the possibilities are, but I find that very exciting.
Guys, this is what Shaq was just asking us. What's fantastic about the Las Vegas ecosystem? Some
Yeah.
of the best kept secrets that we may not know about.
Yeah.
People like Sonny are some of the best kept secrets here,
Oh,
right?
thank you.
If you have any question that there's real hardcore tech development going on in Las
Yes.
Vegas, right? Sonny's talking about matching up these powerful LLMs with products like the Meta glasses. This is real Silicon Valley kind of stuff people
Yeah.
are working on, and Sonny's working on it here. So if you have any doubt that there's real no kidding tech work going on in Las Vegas, here's your example.
Thank you.
What else? What else are you excited about?
I'm just excited about AI. I mean, I think I tried to figure out what made me so excited about it, and I think I finally figured it out. So when the iPhone came out, as you know, a lot of people were able to make a bunch of money just making an iPhone app, right? But the thing with the iPhone is just the client. So if you were to rebuild Uber, the value of Uber is in the database and the back end software, right?
Right.
But the AI, we're in a very special moment, and I can't think of another moment in business history that's like this. There's probably 20 or less LLMs in the whole world,
Mhm.
and some are open source, some are closed source.
And there's probably about 5 people are really using it at any kind of
There's
scale.
only 5 that are really being used, right? So it's so interesting, because what it means is that when I download an open source LLM, right, that I, in a sense, for the most part, am competitive with the largest corporations on the planet.
Mhm.
It's as if you find out, like, hey, for $5,000, you could build a car that's competitive to Ferrari. Like that's just never happened before, because if as a solo developer, if I'm competing with the corporation, I'm competing with capital infrastructure, just more people, more team.
Mhm.
But there, the LLM is in fact the prize, the model. So it's just about who can query it better, which is kind of funny. You know what I mean? So
There's so much good stuff that can come of that, right?
Yeah.
Because until last year, this year,
yeah,
if you had a tech startup, you were creating something like the next Uber, right?
yeah.
you know, you could come up with your idea, your tech idea that makes it better, and then
Yeah.
Uber could come by you in a really early stage to
Yeah.
keep you from competing with them, right?
Yeah.
Now, because of what you're talking about, if you've got that really cool tech idea, that really innovative thing you're gonna
Yeah.
you want to do, when Meta comes to you and says we want to buy you for X,
Yeah.
you can go, no thanks, I think I can do better than you.
Exactly,
Because
yeah.
because those barriers to
Yeah,
the,
we're
to
on
the
the same
wider
level.
audience that they
Exactly.
have, you don't have those barriers. You can build your user base just as fast, if not faster, right?
Yeah. It's really it's really impressive. It's now a level playing field. I didn't plan on this, but I essentially feel like I've automated the tech corporation. So I created my own framework so I automated the development team. I'd already done that to build my app, but now I'm automating sales and customer support.
Mhm.
And now the only thing, if I was to raise money, would be for ad money. And that's a really interesting thing
Mhm.
that like I can automate sales, customer support. The AI is sounds funny, but it's true. It answers questions about my app better than I would have.
Yeah.
And it's 24 hours and it has human voice. It's natural. You know what I mean?
I'm
And it's, you know, so-
I'm using an LLM to help me with LinkedIn prospecting.
okay, cool.
And we've gotten to the point where we're doing it for 3 or 4 weeks now,
Mhm.
and now it's like giving me suggestions. It's not just like creating my task list.
Yeah,
It's not
yeah.
just generating scripts for me. It's like, hey, have you thought about doing this too? And like,
Yeah.
oh, that's new. That was new yesterday.
Exactly,
And
yeah,
that
exactly,
was
yeah.
was fun. Yeah, AI is there's no post-industrial revolution parallel to the change that AI is going to bring to the world.
Exactly.
There's no like the steam engine was
This is the
great.
combustible engine.
Like internal combustion, all
Yeah.
great. Telephone, internet, television, all great. This is like printing press level,
Exactly. Yeah.
like change in civilizational change. It is really the equivalent of when the printing press came along and
Exactly,
people
yeah.
started learning to read,
Yep.
and then people in authority would say the book says this, and then people would say that's not what the book says. That's
Exactly,
not what this
exactly.
says, right? That's what AI is going to be able
The
to
closest-
enable the masses to
Exactly.
do.
The closest thing I could think of, and obviously it's bigger than this, is when VisiCal came out.
Mhm.
So Apple II, they came out, and Steve Jobs came out with the Apple II in like '78.
Mhm.
And what happened is it had the most RAM, it had the most characters on the screen, and then some guys. at
Remember
MIT,
when we used to do stuff in 128K RAM?
That's crazy. Yeah,
It's
I know.
crazy. We made
We were happy
software
for it.
work, and we
We were-
loved it.
Exactly.
When
Yeah.
when 512 came along, we were all ecstatic.
Exactly. So what happened is that VisiCal came out, and it was the first spreadsheet. So for the first time in human history, you could dynamically financial model your business.
Mhm.
If I raise prices 10% in my big corporation, how does that affect things? So that's the first time that happened. LLM, conversational AI, is the same thing, but it's not limited to numbers. It's to ideas.
Yep.
And it's kind of crazy because it is the first entity I've interacted with where I said, oh, I'm programming, I'm thinking about building my framework like this. What are your thoughts? It says, I understand it, and here's some better ideas to
Yeah.
help. And I'm like, wow, that's
It's
to
so
really
great.
understand
It's
context.
so great.
You know what I mean?
every
Yeah.
every so often, you have to tell it, no, that's a terrible idea.
Exactly. Yeah.
Just save that thought in your memory for later. That's a terrible idea.
And did LLMs have different personalities? So ChatGPT is more like open and listening,
Mhm.
but like Claude for me was like a little bit more trying to connect the dots for me. So you almost want to switch different personalities when you want.
What do you use those different personalities for? What do you use ChatGPT for? What do you use
Yeah, so
Claude for?
ChatGPT is for exploring ideas.
Mhm.
Because I went to Claude one time and I'm just trying to explore ideas to figure out product.
Mm-hmm.
So after I got like 2 or 3 products in, it kept saying, well, you're supposed to do the first product. Like, you're not making any sense here. I'm like, don't worry about that. We're trying to
Yeah.
explore, because I don't even know what the product is. Maybe this is direction, but I need answers to know if that's the
Mm-hmm.
right direction. So ChatGPT is better at exploring products, but I do admit when I'm programming and I need like how to program and how to get certain software installed and LLMs up and running and all that stuff, I use Claude. It's
So,
very
so
effective.
Claude is great for nuts and bolts.
Exactly,
There are
functional.
rules to things. We follow the
Exactly,
rules.
Exactly, yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah, but
And
ChatGPT is more like open-ended, like, oh yeah, have you considered this? Consider that.
are you using any others?
I played with Grok.
Mm-hmm.
Grok is like very functional too. Like the example I give is like, if you ask, I want a juicy burger, right?
Mm-hmm.
And ChatGPT will sense, okay, you want a burger, we're going to recommend this because
Mm-hmm.
we get the sense of what you're trying to ask. Grok will be like, well, In-N-Out's like this and Burger King's like that, and I'm like, no,
It
make
gives
the
you
decision for
very
me.
factual answers.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I still like ChatGPT a lot. It seems to know more of it. It doesn't even need to give me the data. It gets a sense of what I'm trying
It's
to accomplish.
it's vibes.
Exactly. Yeah. It knows my vibe. It knows where I'm trying to go at. Because a lot of times you have to give examples to try and give a sense of what you're going at, and I don't have to give as many examples. You know what I mean? For Claude, I noticed I'm like, it missed one thing. I'm like, oh no, I meant in this reference. You know what I mean? So yeah.
I have found I need to slow Chat GPT down a little bit. It's like, hey, I'm not ready for where you're trying to take me.
Exactly,
Yet. Let's go back to this.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. But it's an amazing assistant, you know, just for the ideas alone. It's crazy. $20. I mean,
Oh,
that's
you
insane.
can't afford to not have
Exactly.
ChatGPT Pro or whatever it's called, the $20 a month tier.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can't afford not to have
exactly. Like if it was, even if it was $1,000 and I couldn't afford it, it'd still be worth it. Like, you know what I mean? It's just one
Yep.
of those things that are just like, it saves so many hours and things like that. Lovable saves so much time.
Yeah.
I use Lovable now for all my app development because they used to debate with clients like, oh, we're supposed to build this. Because like that's what made me a really good developer. I could build faster than most people could design. But even then, most people design take a day or two. I would develop something in a day, but now with Lovable, we can get it designed in 10 minutes or 5 minutes.
Yep.
No debate, no argument, and I just execute.
On my other podcast, the interview podcast I do.
Yeah.
The last few weeks, I've had a number of tech founders and CTOs, and I always like to ask them, you know, my big question is, what's the AI great for, and then
Yeah.
where do you need the humans to come in? And they always talk about like they're not worried about developers losing their job, software
Yeah.
engineers losing their job. What they're consistently telling me is, we're going to get so much more done. We're probably going to need more engineers because we can do so much more in our company or our lab than we could do.
I gotta use the
We can
restroom,
bring.
but yeah.
Well, all right. Well, we'll
Yeah,
let you
no
go.
problem.
No, it's
Yeah, no
great to
problem.
see you again, Sonny. Thanks for joining
Yeah, I'll
us.
be back. I go to Columbia in December, so I'll be back in February or March, and
All
then
right.
I'll let you know the update.
We'll love to get the update from you then. Thanks
All
for
right, cool.
joining us.
Thanks.
All right. Well, we are coming up on lunchtime here. It is. I see Mark Phelan. I see Mark Phelan over sneaking around in the back. You want to jump on and talk to us? I love it. Love to have you. Welcome back.
Jason LeDuc.
Welcome back to Tech Alley.
Thanks, brother. Good
How
to
you been?
see you. I've been good, really good. Yeah, the event we did on the 4th of October. the
Fantastic,
Momentum
super
Office
fun.
Party. That
Super
was
fun.
awesome. Thank you for being there. Thanks for
Yep.
speaking.
No, my pleasure.
Yeah. How have you been?
I have been good. I've been kind of go. So
What's new with you?
we were talking with Shaq on here a little. Have you met Shaq yet?
I have not. You keep
All right.
bringing them up, but I have not met them yet. I think I
don't
finally
see him.
connected with them on, like, LinkedIn.
I need to make sure you meet Dave Berlin, because I am probably going to be on my way back from the Bay Area when
Okay.
you do your next event, and I know we'll
Yep.
get into all that.
Yep.
And I know you're doing a veterans event.
Yep.
But Dave is kind of my partner in crime on
Okay.
leading vets in tech in the community here, and I think
Cool.
he's going to be here
Great.
in town that weekend.
Okay. Great. That's
So
perfect. That sounds awesome.
we'll make that introduction for
Dave.
you, Dave Berlin.
Dave Berlin.
So we'll
Got
make that, and what I'll do is probably when we're done talking here,
Yep.
I'll have you talk to Dave, and then Dave can introduce you to Shaq if
Fantastic.
Shaq is still around today, and if not, we'll get that done.
it. Okay.
But anyway, I was just up at the Air Force, up at Creech Air Force Base, doing a managing
Okay.
conflict workshop
Okay.
for half a day for part of their flight lead program. So
Interesting.
all the new captains and the new sergeants who are going to be flight commanders or flight sergeants for the first
Yep.
time, they get a whole week kind of. Most of it's like death by PowerPoint of these are all the agencies on base you need to know,
They're used to that.
and who you right.
Yeah.
And then I come in on Wednesday mornings and go, okay, let's put you into conflict with each other, and then talk
Yeah.
about how to deal with it.
How do you do that? What kind of conflict?
So what I'm really trying to do is get the people in that room to understand you have this amazing opportunity to network with each other this week, because you're the ones where rubber meets the road.
Interesting.
Your bosses are going to tell you to go make stuff happen,
Mhm.
and you're at a point in your careers where you're not going to be able to make stuff happen just with you and your team.
Yeah.
You're going to have to deal with this captain over in this squadron.
Yep, yep.
You're going to have to deal with this captain or this lieutenant over in this squadron.
Yeah.
You're going to have to go deal with this major over here and this other group or wing on the base.
Yeah.
Right. So, typical, like I'm a junior officer becoming a more senior, like a mid-grade officer kind of thing, right? So one, we talk about that is you have this incredible opportunity to get to know each other this week, so that when you guys need things, you know each other and have built a relationship with each
Yeah,
other.
smart.
So we go through a lot of relationship building stuff. We go through a lot of communication skills stuff.
Got it.
We go through, we sneak in some critical thinking,
Okay.
like we trick them into
It's funny,
learning,
you have to sneak it in with the military.
yeah, we get to sneak in critical thinking with everyone, because
Sure.
like you can say, okay, we're gonna do critical thinking now, and everyone goes, I already know this.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
and if you know anything about critical thinking, you probably don't really know it. But,
Yeah.
So we sneak in some stuff like logical fallacies, right?
Sure,
And we
okay.
and we go, okay, this is not for you to go point out when other people are engaged in logical fallacies.
weaponize it,
right?
yeah.
How does that go?
Yeah.
Do you like it when someone comes and says you're engaging in circular arguments?
Yeah, yeah.
You don't like it, right?
Yeah.
So the idea here is to recognize the logical fallacies so we don't engage in circular arguments
Sure.
when we're trying to persuade and
That
influence
is-
other people.
That is really
So
helpful.
and then we do like a whole hour-long negotiation exercise.
Okay.
I call it negotiation red flag.
Yeah.
Like you understand
Oh,
what red
that's fine.
flag
Yep.
is, right?
Yep.
We bring fighter squad, we actually all kinds of squadrons and even ground folks from all
Yep.
over the world. Now we do, and we put them into this simulated war.
Yeah.
Up on the test range here.
Yep.
And they get like their first 10 as close to combat as possible sorties.
Yep.
In a safe environment
Yeah.
where they're not going to
And
get
that's
killed.
what red flag is.
That's what
right?
red
Yeah.
flag is,
Yeah.
right? We learned during
in
Vietnam.
the military.
Right.
Yeah.
We learned red flags are something else.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But the red flag event, that's what it is. And because we learned during Vietnam, pilots who survived their first 10 sorties over in Vietnam, air-to-air sorties, were more likely to survive their whole tour
Wow.
than the ones who didn't survive their first 10 sorties. So
Wow,
after
okay.
Vietnam, during the 70s, Colonel Robin Olds created Red Flag here at Nellis
Yep.
to give pilots those first 10 sorties
Yeah.
in as realistic an environment as possible.
Yeah.
So that they could do that and then go off to whatever their combat tour was.
And then you tie leadership training into that.
right, and so I do that with negotiation. Right, we
Negotiate
give them.
red
We
flag.
do three very similar exercises.
Okay.
With the group, so they get 3 opportunities after they learn a bunch of communication, negotiation, critical thinking skills. They learn. We do a whole bunch of stuff of why it's important to embrace conflict, not avoid conflict.
Sure. Yeah.
We start the
absolutely.
day with a game where we put them into conflict with each other immediately
Okay.
to A, wake them up, and B, get them
Yeah.
excited about what we're doing for the
Yeah.
day. But we get to the end of the day and they get 3 opportunities to negotiate against someone else on a really low stakes thing.
Interesting. What are some of the scenarios?
The scenario we do with them is called the $2 game.
Okay.
So there's a fictional, you and your partner, there's a fictional $2 for you to divide up between you.
Okay.
And they get like little slips with
Yep.
their backstory and their scenario and what their minimum they've got to get is.
Interesting.
And then I always tell them, I don't care what your minimum says. I want you to try to get as much of it as
Sure.
possible.
Yeah,
Right.
sure.
So I put 2 constraints on them. One, get as much of it as possible, but definitely don't get less than your minimum.
Okay.
Right. And they're all randomly drawn.
Yeah.
So like one of the cool things is what do they do when their minimums don't match up to less than $2?
Interesting.
So and it's really interesting to watch
yeah.
how creative they get dealing with these problems and the in some cases absolutely insane backstories
Yeah.
or reasons they give to their counterpart for the why they should get all of the $2.
And I love that it's not really military related at all.
No, it's
Yeah.
not at all. And honestly, this came about because when I did my MBA at UNLV,
Mhm.
I had to take a negotiation class and I was terrified of it. And then I got a negotiation class and realized, oh, there's a system to this.
Okay.
And once you know the system or systems, because there's
Yeah.
a bunch of systems to it,
Okay.
you don't have to worry about negotiation. You may not get everything you want, but you
Sure.
don't have to be nervous about. You don't have to be anxious
Yeah,
about going into
yeah.
it, right? And you're probably going to get to that win-win situation you're looking for.
Because negotiation really is a certain level of collaboration
Yeah.
to it. Yeah. Where
Mhm.
you're saying, hey, I know that you have competing requirements than mine,
Yep.
but we have requirements, and how can we come together and
which
meet
is
in the middle?
which is what all these captains are just about to have to do with each other
Sure.
on base. My boss says I have to have this.
Yeah.
Your boss says you have to have this. These
Yeah.
are mutually exclusive.
Mhm.
Now, if we don't figure it out and we go to our bosses and we
Mhm.
can't and we can't figure it out, they're going to figure it out, and none
Yeah.
of us are going to like what comes down. You were in the army, you know
Yeah.
how that is.
Yeah. I never thought
Nobody's
of that
going to
as-
like it if the colonels figure out how it's going to go.
That is true. Yeah. Yeah. I never thought of that as negotiation. But yeah, I
Yeah.
guess it is. Yeah.
But if you treat it as negotiation and you apply these skills,
Mhm.
you know, because and this came about because I was talking to a friend of mine who's a squadron commander
Okay.
up at Creech at the time that we did this negotiation. And it was one of these things of like, I wish someone had taught us this when we
Sure.
were like lieutenants, and he said the same thing.
Wow.
And so that led to a whole series of doing different workshops at Creech, and now we do this managing conflict one with this
Mhm.
flight lead program. We do it twice a year. So
And then when you have them, do you actually dictate that, hey, I want you guys to literally network while you're here?
I don't dictate it to them,
Okay.
but I mentioned because it starts on Monday.
Sure.
I get in there on Wednesday.
Mhm.
So they still have half of it left. So I
Okay.
don't dictate it to them, but
Yeah.
I tell them, you guys have a really good, typical military like office senior officer thing. Like
Yeah.
there's a real good opportunity for you guys
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
I'm not telling you have to do it or
Yeah,
you should do
yeah.
it. I'm just saying there's a real good opportunity for you here.
Yeah, wink, wink, stomp, stomp.
Yeah.
There's business cards in the military, or if you're real top notch, you'll make your own.
Mm-hmm.
And it's almost, in some cases, it's almost a faux pas. It's like, who do you think you are walking around with a business
Yeah,
card?
that back in
know?
my day, that's what it was. Is why do you have business? Who are
Yeah.
you?
Yeah,
Why do you have
yeah.
business cards?
Yeah.
Weirdo.
Yeah, it was almost like ego driven or
Yep.
self-centered. But yeah, again, reflecting, there is a massive amount of networking that's required in the military.
Yeah.
That's half the game.
And we
is
don't
figuring
call
out
it
who's
that.
who. We
right?
don't at all.
And that's the biggest difference is everybody's doing it all the time in the military, right?
Yeah.
The connection of, oh, you know this person or you were on this
Yeah.
base, you know this
Yeah.
person, building
Or
relationship.
have you done this thing before? We're
we
doing
do
it now.
really well in the
Yeah, we do,
military.
yeah.
And the problem is we do it so well that it's one of those things like daily leadership conversations and mentoring
Yeah.
because we all do it so well because it's part of the culture.
Yeah.
We don't think about it. And when someone asks us about, like the first time I was ever a guest on a podcast
Yeah.
was I was still on active duty and someone asked me to come on to talk about networking in the military because we were having a conversation offline.
Yeah.
And they said, it was Jordan Harbinger. And he said, what's networking like in the military? I was like, oh yeah, you got to understand, we do it all the time, but we don't talk about it that way.
Yeah.
And he's like, that's great because like I talk to all these military guys, Navy SEALs, Rangers,
Sure,
all that kind of stuff. And they say, we don't do networking in the military. I was like,
Yeah.
no, that's not, we do. We just
Yeah.
don't call it that.
Yeah.
So-
and you're always playing the game of like, who do you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're always building a relationship.
Yeah.
You're kind of,
Interesting.
because a lot of times you're in these situations where you're forced to. It's the hurry up and wait.
That
We're
is
just
it,
hanging
yeah.
out waiting for something to happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
We've all read all the books sitting on the table in the rec tent, and so
Yeah.
we all get to talking, right? So
Yeah.
it's something the military does really well, but doesn't understand it does really well.
Hmm.
And then the other thing in the military is nobody's jumping in to try to like pitch anybody or sell anybody, right?
Mhm.
When you're doing this networking, when you're doing this relationship building, it's just because you're kind of all in a room. You're
Yeah.
like you're waiting for the commander to come in.
Yeah, yeah,
Like the wing
yeah.
commander to come in. We're all hanging out in the auditorium, or
Yeah.
we're all hanging out outside the auditorium. Or
So
whatever.
it's like, what do what
So
else
you're-
would you do in
right?
your
So
free time?
and you
It's
can't.
like,
Most of us can't talk about anything we're doing with somebody else anyway.
Sure,
So
yeah.
So
Yeah, and that's interesting too, because with the uniforms, the patches,
Yep.
this, that,
Mhm.
and you're always trying to not assess, but in a way assess kind of
Yeah.
like who are you with, what do you do, to figure out like how can we, or, do we work together
Yep.
already and maybe we don't know it, or will we work together in the future with this operation or that operation? So yeah,
Yeah.
you do it almost.
yeah,
Almost,
chances are if you're in a room
subconsciously.
with someone on base or wherever,
Mhm.
you have a better than even chance you're going to be working with them in the future. So
Why do you think that is? Because it is ingrained not only in active duty, but also when you meet a veteran,
Mhm.
you're constantly trying to figure out, is there an overlap here? Like, what branch were you in? Where were you stationed? Who did you serve
I
with?
mean,
When
I
did
mean,
you join?
I always find that whenever
Sure.
we're out at something and someone introduces me to, hey, this person's a veteran too.
Yeah.
Whether it's something like this or your event or
Yeah.
Startup Vegas, Startup NV,
Sure.
or other veteran events. We know they're all veterans, but
Yeah.
it's where were you? What did you do?
Yeah.
What bases were you at? How did you come in? What
Yeah.
service were you in?
Yeah.
Right, because chances are we know someone who is on a very similar path.
Yeah. It's you learn very quickly that it's a very small world.
It
right? We always
really
say, like,
is.
it's a really small army, even though there's
Yeah.
1 million or 3 million active service members at any given time when you include the reserves. I think. It's
Yeah,
something like
the
that.
number is the number of active is around 1 million, I think, across all the services.
Yeah.
And then when you start adding in all the guard reserve,
reserve, yeah.
whether they're on active status or regular reservists
Yeah.
or regular guard duty,
Yeah.
you're talking 3.5 million people at any given time.
Yeah.
and that doesn't count those of us who have come and gone already,
too, yeah.
and those of us who are coming up.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Interesting. So, do you know of any veteran networking events, or I mean, I haven't heard of any for active duty at all.
no, because on active duty you just have events. You just have
True, that is true,
right?
yeah.
You just have the club on Friday night,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Or you have commander's call and then the picnic, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Or you have the wing Christmas or holiday party,
Sure,
right?
sure.
I mean, because none of it's ever pitched as networking events.
Yeah.
It's pitched as like camaraderie, cultural,
Yeah.
like events.
Interesting.
So everybody kind of just falls naturally into what we think, what you
Yeah.
and I think of now that we've been out in the business world.
Yeah.
What you and I think of as the right way to network, everyone just falls into that because nobody's doing it for any kind of, can I make a sale? Can I do
sure.
career development out of this?
Yeah.
It's like, it's kind of like, well, I got to be here because they told me I got to be here.
Yeah.
I may as well have a good time.
Yeah, that was kind of the idea behind the Momentum Office Party was
Yeah.
provide an office party culture for, professionals that may not have one or are interested in just networking and meeting people. And then you sort of, the way that we programmed it, you network as a byproduct of just being in a room together.
Yeah.
Which is
I
similar
loved
to
it.
the
It
military.
was a great event. I think you did a couple of great things with it. One, you did it on a Saturday.
Yeah.
So you cleared out a lot of folks who were like, I'm not doing work stuff on a Saturday,
true,
right?
yeah.
So you already pre-selected out a lot of the folks who were just transactional.
Yep.
Like
Yeah,
yeah,
like, I don't work
because
on
I made
Saturdays, why
some
would I
great
go?
connections there.
Yeah.
And other than talking about getting together for coffee or lunch or something,
Yeah.
we haven't ever talked about like what work can we do together.
Yeah.
It was just like getting to know people and like, oh, these are
it.
cool people I want to see
Yeah.
again.
That's a really good point. That the people that show up on a Saturday night
Yep.
for a network.
Yeah,
event.
Saturday evening. It
Saturday evening.
wasn't
Well, yeah.
super late. I think it
Yeah.
was 5.
p.m. to 9
Yeah.
p.m. Yeah. So the next one we have coming up, again, Projections hosting it. It's another Momentum Office Party. This one coming up is on the 8th of November.
And it's veteran focused.
It's Veterans Night, right? So every month we're gonna have a focus. So it's 2 days before Veterans Day.
Yep.
It's gonna be at the Muse office, which is another co-working space that just opened in July.
Okay.
It's owned by Zach. He's a veteran. He's an Air Force veteran.
What's
so,
Zach's last name?
Damn it. I can't remember.
All right, we'll figure it out for you guys.
Zach Lee. I don't have his card on me, but yeah.
Yeah, we'll find out.
Yeah. Zachary. He goes by Zachary Devon.
Okay.
I think. So he's on Instagram, but yeah, they have Muse Office, LV.com, I think is what it is.
Okay.
So we just,
Where is that?
it's right near the airport,
Okay.
which is pretty good. It's central to Las Vegas, so it should be pretty
Yeah,
easy to get
the
to.
airport's pretty central to the
Yeah,
valley.
easy
so.
parking. It's open, free parking lot, which is a problem in Vegas with parking structures and that sort of thing.
It's a problem if you want to be on the strip or downtown. Parking
Yeah.
gets challenging.
Yeah,
if
it's
you're
tricky.
if you want to be out on the edges of town,
Yeah,
parking's no problem.
Yeah.
And then there's some spots where you kind of can get a little more central,
yeah.
but parking's not a problem.
Yeah, so we're gonna do same format, 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. and then we'll have these momentum moments at
Yeah.
6, 7, and 8. Bring everyone kind of in as a group, do a raffle, have a guest speaker,
Yep.
and then do a connection challenge. With those were fun.
Yeah,
Those were
tell
really
us,
fun.
tell everybody about the connection challenges because I thought those were really fun.
That's really so the connection challenges are really the differentiator that makes the Momentum Office Party what it is. And so, aside from it being just a generic networking event, which it's much more than that, on the hour 6, 7, and 8, we pull everyone in. We do a quick raffle for a variety of different prizes, and then we have a speaker that speaks for about 2 or 3 minutes, whatever it might be, and they just share what they're up to or some things that are happening in Vegas. And then this last one, we had 3 connection challenges. So the first one was when your raffle ticket is called, you have to name 5 people that you've met at the event. Can't be your wife, can't be your guest, can't be anybody that you've known from previous events. Got to be 5 new people that you've met. That one was interesting, and it really shifts kind of the mindset and the culture of it's not just making a sale like you said or trying to get leads. It's really connecting with people. And then the second connection challenge was what we call LinkedIn Limbo. So the first one's name badge bingo, which is kind of a pun because we don't have name badges. It's actually meet people, get good at that.
Which is great because I think I told you about this group, Vegas Social VIP Social Club.
Okay.
I think I sent you the stuff for that.
Yeah.
They were really adamant when they created their event that it was social and there were no name tags.
That's great.
And they've been asked many times by people coming to the event of, can you guys do name tags? Like,
Yeah.
no, we don't do name tags
Yeah.
here.
We dropped the ball on name tags. I dropped the ball on name tags. I was responsible for name tags. And I followed through with Champagne, which was great. And so it was sort of a happy accident. And we talked about that as a team of like, hey, what was planned that didn't happen? And what can we do differently last time? And what really sort of worked out serendipitously in the name tag thing was one of the biggest ones, where we were able to see that it really shifts the vibe of it, because you're not just walking around looking at people's name tags and whatnot. The second connection challenge was LinkedIn Limbo. So we gave everyone about a 10-minute heads up and said, hey, when we come back together, if your raffle number's called, you've got to connect with someone on LinkedIn and know it's a fun fact about them, not professional related.
Yep.
So again, it gets people pushing, beyond networking, beyond just a generic connection. That was a ton of fun. And then the last one was the coffee connection challenge. And that was the absolute game changer. So an hour before the 7 p.m. kind of rally that we did, or I think it was 8 p.m., we gave everyone a heads up and they immediately just sort of like shifted, started connecting with each other, booking coffee connections. I think by the end of the event, I heard some people had 2, 3+ coffee connects.
That's great.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Already booked.
Yeah, absolutely. And
So if you're thinking about coming to the next Momentum office party,
yes,
understand these are the things that are win you prizes: is coming in, meeting people right away,
Yeah.
finding that way to remember things about them,
Yeah.
getting connected with them on LinkedIn right away.
Yeah.
Right. Because it's not like name one person you met coming in.
No,
It was like it was 5
within the first hour.
within the first hour,
Yeah.
right? And I got there half an hour into the first hour,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
so you're kind of under. I assume you'll do different stuff next
We're going to
time.
tweak it a little bit.
Yeah.
I think the format was really great to go from names to connecting to coffee.
I liked that,
but
yeah.
we'll tweak it a little bit, and the team's got some other ideas that they want to experiment with. So it'll be a little different at every venue. We'll have some different vendors and sponsors and
Yep.
that sort of thing.
But if you want to win prizes, you got to hit the ground running when you walk into Momentum
do.
office party.
yeah, show up ready to actually connect and
Yep.
engage and meet people.
And it was great. I didn't get a chance to meet everyone there, but I met almost everybody.
Almost, yeah.
And had they were really great connections.
Yeah, when we did our recap as a team at the end, we all kind of stayed an hour afterwards, and we just did an AAR essentially, right? And do you guys call it that in the Air Force? AAR?
Yeah, after action report.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So we did an after action review.
We'll more formally we'll call it a debrief or a rundown,
Sure,
or
essentially, yeah.
but something where you say, okay, this just happened. Let's talk about it right now.
yeah, literally in the venue, we shut everything down, and then we just all went around sort of the group, the projection group there. Yeah.
Shaq, real quick.
What's
I'm
up,
not going to
man?
let him go yet, but this is Mark Phelan. I want you guys to get connected while you're here today. Yeah, we'll pop
Yeah.
him in after. Well, why don't you guys get some lunch? You guys are on the lunch line right now. Yeah, grab some lunch and swing him back after
Awesome,
you guys get a
awesome.
chance to eat.
Good to meet Shaq. Yeah.
So yeah, connect with Shaq, and then we'll get you connected.
What
with
does
Dave.
Shaq do? What's his
Shaq works
background?
for Governor's Office of Economic
That's the way it
Development.
is. Okay,
So-
you keep bringing that up. Good.
So
I got a question for you. The projection team is dying to know.
Mhm.
What are you going to be for Halloween?
I'm keeping it close hold right now because I think there may be some some podcasting efforts that go along with that.
Okay, got it. Cool.
So when I don't want to
Interesting.
give anything away
Yeah.
too soon before a podcast airs.
Right on. That's
So-
awesome.
So,
And then,
but I'm glad you reminded me because I have to get my act together in the next couple days on that.
yeah, okay, yeah, we were 2 weeks out, something like that. And then the backdrop here, I've been thinking. So on the next Momentum office party, we're gonna have a step and repeat banner with a red carpet
Yep.
for photos and whatnot. I want to help you get like a Tech Alley Startup Vegas, or Vegas startup scene step and repeat banner for this
Okay.
thing. Yeah, what do you think?
Fantastic. We
Yeah.
we love sponsors.
Yeah,
So
it's a 10 by 10, right?
this is a 10 by 10. I'm not sure how tall this is. We can
Yeah,
we can do the
like
measurements. I
5'6".
can look up the specs,
Cool.
but Dave Berlin, who I'm gonna introduce you to, is
Yep.
working for a print shop now.
Perfect.
So
What do you know?
so
That's awesome.
see, networking. Nobody asked.
off,
Nobody
guys.
asked anybody for anything.
We did
We're
not.
just given.
Yep.
So,
Just seeing an opportunity and
so-
saying, hey, I think I can
Yeah.
help kind of here.
networking.
Yeah. I think that'd be great to throw the
Yeah, we
logos
would
up
we would
behind
love that, and
That'd be cool.
we would. There's a lot of opportunities for us to use that kind of
Yeah.
step and repeat.
Yeah,
So-
that'd be awesome. And then I went to Elissa's event. She was a second speaker.
Yeah,
and
how was that? I couldn't go to that.
it was great, honestly.
It
was
looked.
great.
I saw it on LinkedIn, and
Yeah.
I was like,
Oh,
that
yeah.
looked amazing. I'm
Yeah.
so sorry I couldn't make it.
She did such a good job. Career Mastered is the group that she did it with. It was 95% women. It was Elissa's husband and I were the only men in the room. But it was fantastic, and I got a lot out of listening to the speaker panel that she had there, kind of doing Q&A, and a lot of what they were talking about was actually connecting and not just networking, but how to connect with people and what that looks like. And then talked to a few people afterwards regarding networking in Vegas, and everyone kind of shares the same sentiment that it can be difficult if you're new. There was somebody who was there who had just moved to Vegas 7 months ago, was saying like, man, it's been kind of a gauntlet, trying to figure out how to network. And my take was, it's difficult to find the room that you're a good fit in, but once you find the room, it's
Yeah.
easy to network in Vegas. Yeah.
So that was a women in business
Yeah.
focused
Yeah.
event. I need to connect with Alyssa. Our very first guest on here this morning was a young girl, senior in high school,
Okay.
on her high school's robotics team,
Cool.
and so she's big into STEM and getting young women into STEM.
Awesome.
But she is hosting a Women in Tech event
Cool.
coming up in December. So
Okay.
I'd love to get Alyssa connected up with
Yeah,
her.
that'd be
How you
great.
doing, man? Good to see you. You guys know each other?
I don't think so.
Richard and Mark, you guys should get to know each other. Both veterans.
Pleasure to meet you. Right on, man. I'll see you around.
So, yeah, I would love to get Alyssa connected
Sure.
up with her.
That sounds good.
Because I know they're looking for sponsors and looking for
Definitely.
for help for this Women in Tech event. And,
Yeah.
you know, I if you're still watching from before, guys, get off the couch. The ladies are beating you.
Yeah.
They're beating you to the good tech stuff.
Yeah, that was a phenomenal event. I got a lot out of it, and there was a lot of really powerful women in the room, and that had some interesting insights to share. And they kind of go through all the same things that we go through as far as like networking and trying to find the right people to partner with and what that looks like. So that was really great. Regarding sponsorship for the 8th of November, Veterans Night, with the Muse office. Any recommendations on veteran sponsors or what that looks like, or should I just talk to?
Well, we'll have you talk to Dave,
Okay.
but I would say let's get you connected up with Vets in Tech.
Yeah. Okay.
They
great.
may or may not be that they are almost certainly interested in attending if they can.
Sure, absolutely.
That will be a challenge for them because we're all up in the Bay Area the night before
Yeah.
for the gala.
They-
But I think it's something they'd be interested in the future as well.
And that gala's annual in.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's
Yeah.
really cool.
It's up. They have it at the Marine Corps Memorial Hotel and Museum right in
Wow.
downtown San Francisco.
Interesting.
So we all stay there
Yeah.
at the hotel, and then they have it in. There's like a ballroom there, and
Sure.
then sometimes they have the upstairs bar open as well. Some years,
Yeah,
and just really really great. And it's
How
just-
long has that been going on?
oh god, years and years.
Yeah,
I know.
really?
I mean, I think as long as Vets in Tech has been going, so a decade.
Sure. Wow.
So I've
Okay,
been to.
cool.
This will be my third.
Nice.
So-
Nice. How'd you get looped in with them?
We got looped in. Dave, who I'm going to introduce you
Yep.
to, went down to Austin
Mm-hmm.
for a global entrepreneurship week thing, and he got down a day or two early
Sure.
and said, "Hey, who's around in the tech community
Yeah.
here?" And they said, "Oh, we're doing this. You should come down to the Capital Factory."
Okay.
And then he came down to the Capital Factory for some event going down there, and he met Vets and Tech folks there.
Yeah.
So a week later, maybe even later that same week, we were doing Tech Alley here, and he's like, "Dude, I got to tell you about this thing, Vets and Tech."
Yeah.
And I was like, "That's awesome!" And I was like, "This is some of the answer to our Tech Talent Challenge here in Vegas. Is if we can show a pipeline of tech training for young folks getting out of the military in Las Vegas,
Yeah,
and
definitely.
a pipeline to a tech job and a tech career in
Yep.
Las Vegas, we can, because you know what it is. It's like getting out of the military.
Sure.
A lot of people get out and they go, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back to my hometown.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to work for a government contractor.
Yeah.
Or if we can show a training and career pipeline to real tech jobs here
Yeah.
in Southern Nevada, we can keep some of this talent here. And selfishly, what I want those kids to turn into is the future founders and CTOs
Yeah.
of our startups
Yeah.
here. Like go do a tech job somewhere here in
Sure,
town, and then
sure.
when you see your employer isn't doing it right and you can do better, go start your own
your own.
startup
Yep.
and either be the founder, the CEO, or the CTO,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's kind of been the theme of projection was, all right, let's create a consulting company that we would actually want to work for.
Yep.
Great culture, great vision. We're partnering with veteran organizations and not-for-profits. And then same thing with the Momentum internship program was, hey, and we're going to create an internship program. Let's interview all these candidates and literally asking them, have you ever been in a program? What was that like? Pros and cons. Describe your ideal
Yep.
internship program and then creating that. And then now we're doing that with the Momentum office party.
Yep.
And just, okay, these are all these other networking events. How can we make it better? How can we make it really more, beyond networking about like really connecting with people and so that we can all support each other.
Yep. So I would say Vets in Tech and Warrior Rising. I don't know if you're familiar with Warrior Rising.
Heard of it.
It is it's another nonprofit that helps veterans get their business off the ground.
Got it. Cool.
They have classes, mastermind groups, support resources, that kind of stuff. They're really great as well.
Speaking of, I got connected with Startup NV. Okay, so I've been going to some SCORE workshops and whatnot, and then got linked up to Startup NV, and then I signed up for Angel NV.
Oh, okay.
So I've been going to
Going to the info sessions for Angel Envy.
yeah, it was a boot camp that
Okay.
I signed up for. So unknowingly, I went to the first event, and it was great. It was about how to create a pitch deck for getting funding for your
Yep.
your tech project.
Yeah,
or
Angel
whatever it
Envy
might
is a
be.
great program.
Yeah, so I've been going to multiple of those, and that's been incredibly insightful.
Yep.
So our tech that we're developing is very premature. It's still conceptual. We just met with the app dev team, and they've got wireframing, some mock-ups and stuff ready,
Yep.
which is interesting. So yeah, it's good. It's good. So if anybody out there is interested, there is an Angel Envy investor boot camp.
Yep.
And it's not only for people that are creating products, but it's also for the angel investors as well.
Yes.
So every cohort is kind of mixed.
Yeah,
and
that's what's great about that. Is
It is.
It's investor. We just had Maggie Sailing was on last
Yeah.
month, and
Okay.
we talked a little bit about Angel NV.
yeah. Here, yeah.
But yes, it's great because it's intended for. We're trying to teach people to be good angel investors, to try to understand their own investment philosophy,
Sure.
understand the nuts and bolts tools,
Yep.
understand the lingo and the language and
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people come to angel investing not coming from a tech or startup background, and so haven't been through that.
Yeah.
And then because we also want them to look at real companies,
Yep.
we have to create this cohort of companies to be
Yep.
part of Angel NV,
Yeah.
culminating in the big final event every spring,
Yeah.
which is a great event.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so it works. I met up with Josh. He's an angel investor. His
Mm-hmm.
background is actually sports betting.
I just saw there was a Startup NV mentor mix
Okay.
there the other night.
Yeah.
So I just saw Joshua the other night.
Yeah,
He's
I
great.
dropped your name. He was like, "Yeah, I know."
Yeah.
I know Jason. Yeah.
He won't stop bothering me either.
That's awesome.
She's everywhere.
So what do you have going on? So with the Vegas startup scene, what else do you have going on with that?
Well,
What's coming up?
So there's this, and
Yep.
then we are we're rolling into our weekly rundown. So we're just
Yeah.
trying to keep up with what's Vegas Tech Summit was last week, so I'm trying to
Okay.
get a little news out of somebody to throw in this week's or next week's
Okay.
episode to talk about what came out of Vegas Tech Summit.
Nice.
I'm just trying to stay tuned in and go to as many things as possible and have as many conversations with everybody who's doing stuff in the ecosystem, right?
Got it, yeah.
Because my philosophy on this is the playing each other's songs thing, right?
It is.
We got to
yeah.
go to each other's stuff. We got to
Yeah.
hang out with each other.
Yeah.
We got to get to know each other professionally and personally. We
Yep.
got to be able to say, just like at Momentum Office Party, this is someone you should meet,
Yeah, basically.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that's always been the goal of the Vegas startup scene stuff, and that's always what we're going to continue to do. So the last couple of weeks have been a whirlwind with everything going on.
Sure.
It's going to slow down a little bit, but
Yeah.
like we said, we had a young girl on here talking about her robotics
So
team,
cool.
and they're looking for sponsors and mentors for that,
Yeah.
and a women in tech event. So I came here today, not even knowing we were going to talk about that.
Yeah.
I know I've got a big story for Vegas startup scene. That'll probably be our interview highlight as part of her
Okay,
interview.
got it.
And just to get people excited about, look, there are young ladies and young men too doing really, really cool stuff. And not only are they like doing their robotics team for school,
Yep.
they're hosting women in tech events to try to get more women in
That
tech.
is awesome. What's your take on STEM in Las Vegas? So at Projection with the
Mm-hmm.
Momentum internship program, we basically sponsor CPT and OPT
Mm-hmm.
students, and one next milestone for us is to try to get into STEM.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're looking for clients that we can get STEM projects and
Mm-hmm.
then sponsor those international students on STEM projects. What does STEM look like in Vegas?
I think it's a mixed bag across the valley, right?
Sure.
So our young lady Rose, we were talking about this morning, she goes to a technical high school.
Got it.
So STEM is a big part of it, right?
it, okay.
Really, really interesting. She went to that for the medical program to be a nurse, and now
Yeah.
she's going to go study biomedical engineering. She
Wow.
wants to do engineering as well. So
yeah.
I can't say enough good things about what's going on with that. But yeah, it's a mixed bag across the valley.
Sure.
And I think making it less of a mixed bag and more consistent across the valley is a really, really noble goal.
Good. Okay, good. So that's something that we're kind of on the right path with. We have a university partnership program at Projection because we have the internship program. So we partnered with Drexel recently, and we hosted a resume review session
Okay.
just for Drexel students. I want to get connected with Rachel Gomez, and
She's here
put that
somewhere
on.
today.
Oh, great. Yeah. Oh, yeah. She speaks, right?
Yep,
Oh,
she
yeah.
should be done. She's somewhere around. I don't know
Yeah.
if she had to take off or is
Okay.
sticking around,
I'll
but
find her, but-
she's here.
Yeah, I'd
or
like
was
to-
here today.
I'd like to do that with UNLV as well and start setting up a proper partnership
And they
with
can
them.
they can probably tell you more about what the mixed bag is and where the
STEM,
gaps are.
yeah.
I think the big gap, like resume review, resume help is great. I think getting the kids excited and into the classes and into the activities.
Interesting.
Right, you're like you go to one of these career technical academies, and
Mhm.
resume review is probably great.
Yeah.
But there's probably other high schools where it's just like we just got to get kids interested in taking science.
Oh wow, that's
Yeah.
a good point. What is the sort of the industry look like in Vegas regarding STEM that you know of? I mean,
Mhm.
obviously there's all these tech startups and these tech, small businesses, but it's almost like the pro and con of Vegas is that a lot of businesses are overshadowed by the gaming industry or the hospitality industry. What outside of kind of the startup scene, what other STEM programs?
Yeah,
or
there's a
companies?
there's a lot of cybersecurity here. There's
Sure.
a lot of IT companies here. There's a
Okay.
lot of opportunity for careers in STEM
Yeah.
here, and more coming every day. One of the really still kind of well kept secrets, and I wish it wasn't, is we have a number of really cool robotics companies here, and they're kind of
Really?
getting beyond the startup stage and
Okay.
into the like scaling up growth stage.
Yeah.
So robotics is going to be a big player here in the future, and
Sure.
that's kind of one of the things I really want to get people excited about
Yeah.
is knowing that we've got like Rich Tech Robotics here.
Okay.
Knowing that we've got oh god, I'm blanking on the name. They're right down by the airport. Rich Tech is down there too.
Okay.
But there are there's a number of robotics companies, and there's a really cool robotics meetup group. And they're doing an event coming up this week, I think, is their event.
Okay.
And they're talking about the big thing is they're going to be talking about robots in space.
Wow.
Which if you've ever worked in space, like
Yeah.
I did in the Air Force,
Yeah.
almost everything in space is a robot. It does its thing mostly
That
autonomously
is
with
true.
like little input from the ground.
When I was a kid growing up in Hawaii, we had there's sort of a big NASA influence in Hawaii. There's Space Camp there.
Yep.
There's the observatories. We actually had one of those.
I've been to the telescope
have
on
you?
Maui.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
did an experiment from the telescope on Maui when I was in the Air Force.
That's rad. I grew up on the Big Island, so we've got
Yep.
those telescopes. But we actually had a NASA rover come
Mhm.
to our school. Those things are huge.
Yeah.
They're massive.
Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, they're
how
bigger
do
than they
this.
look on TV.
They are massive. Yeah, it's I don't want to say it's the size of a small car, but
Yeah, they're bigger than they look on TV.
they're large. They're very large. Yeah, they're not just like a remote control
Yeah.
car cruising around. Like it's about the size of a full size. You could probably sit in that thing.
Yeah.
They're so big.
You could certainly sit on it and
Yeah.
tool around a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. Are there any other events that you're looking forward to going to?
Let's see what is coming up. I'm racking
like,
my brain for
Where
what's.
can we expect to see you over the next month?
Jeez. I am really going to try to get to Tech Alley Henderson on the 29th.
Yes,
That
definitely.
is their 1 year anniversary. I haven't been in a number of
Yeah,
months
29
because I've had a
October.
Wednesday night commitment before that.
Yeah.
I don't have that Wednesday night commitment anymore. So that's probably the off the top of my head, that's probably the next big thing I'm going to be at is Tech Alley Henderson. I got to look at the calendar. There
Okay.
may be something that I'm not thinking of that I may
Sure.
be out this week. But
29. Okay. Are you live streaming from there?
no, I'm not live streaming from there. At least I'm not planning on it. I'll probably
Sure.
bring I'll have my phone and my selfie stick tripod, and
Yeah.
I probably will bring a couple microphones if we want to
Yeah.
record or live stream
Yeah.
something from that. But I typically their setup's a little bit different than this.
Yep.
So it's kind of like a one stage. Everybody's kind of focused on one
Got
thing
it.
at the same
Okay.
time, kind of thing. So
Where do they
Um,
do that at?
the last few months they've done them at the Pass Casino
Okay.
on Water Street,
Yep.
and I believe that's where they are this time.
Okay.
But we will be putting out more about that on the Monday show. So if you want all the details correct,
Yeah.
watch the Monday Vegas Startup Scene
Sweet.
episode because I will get it correct then. So
We're gonna let these guys hop on.
Yeah,
Jason.
yeah.
I'll see you in Water Street for sure.
yeah, for sure.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay, I don't. Global Entrepreneurship Week T-shirt. That's Dave Berlin. Tell him I sent you. Want to jump in? Oh, let him on. Well, you guys are eating, right? Okay, let me let him on first, and then. No, we'll get you. We'll get. Do you have to take off at all? Okay, yeah. Let me get him on first, and. Hey, good. Have a seat. Let's get rid of your bag. That'll make it a little easier. That is a nice shirt. I like that shirt. All right. So tell us your name and are you part of the French team that was here this week?
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
I was with the French delegation.
Okay.
Sports delegation.
Okay.
Basically based with all companies that were involved in the Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
Us, Willskip, we are the company that made a lot of parkings in the Paris Olympics.
Okay.
And before we did a lot of other things. We were born in 2017.
Mm-hmm.
We are at Paris Saint-Germain, for example, or in London. also in other stadium in France.
Mhm.
So yeah, we are really targeting the sport business and big events stadium mostly.
Cool.
To implement bicycle
Excellent.
parkings. It's the big numbers of carbon emission is how participant moves to an event. So
Great.
we try to help on that. But before first, it's so much fun to go by bike anywhere. So we try to free the ability to go to an event by bike by giving security.
Okay.
Because, as a cyclist, maybe you're stolen everywhere.
All right. So how's your trip to Vegas been?
Very good, very impressive. My first time.
Okay, great.
Yeah,
Welcome.
So I discovered crazy.
Yep.
Everything is crazy.
Yeah.
Big, huge. Wow.
Yeah, it's kind of. I mean, it's always been large. I've been coming to Vegas since I was a young man in my 20s and the 90s, which tells you how old I am now. But it was always kind of larger than life, and that's when everything was much smaller.
Yeah, okay.
Right. So like when I first came to Vegas, Luxor, the Black Pyramid, which looks so small now compared to everything else,
Okay, yeah.
that was the biggest thing on the strip.
Okay.
And everything felt so much larger than life then. And now we have all this other stuff that makes it feel even
Yeah,
bigger.
even the Eiffel Tower seems small here.
Yeah. So
I know it's smaller, but
so what were you coming to Vegas to do, and what were your takeaways from being here from your meetings?
basically, we are close to sport business for all what is the event, the stadiums, the big festival. So I think Vegas has this headquarters of many sport business.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we wanted to meet them and help them maybe with a bicycle. I know it can be strange here in Las Vegas right now, but maybe it can move really faster. And I'm super happy to see a lot of bikes in the street already
Yeah.
that I'm sure needs parking to be able to stop and consume. So that's what we've proven. People don't stop if they don't have security, and we have that in our data already. So we try to push it here, and
Yep.
I think there's a good welcome on this, even if it's surprising, I know. But we do not pretend to push everyone on the bike, but we pretend to free those who want.
Yeah, I love that. I love that it's hey, look at the freedom you get
Yeah,
from
totally.
doing this.
And faster and more fun together as a group, without emission, without gas, less expensive,
Yeah,
and
Absolutely.
more convenient.
I think
Yeah.
it'll be really receptive, especially for people who are trying to get from the strip over to like Allegiant Stadium. Did you get to meet with any of the Allegiant Stadium
No,
folks?
not Legion Stadium.
Not the
No,
strip?
We met T-Mobile.
T-Mobile. Okay,
Yeah,
great.
Yeah, already good.
Great.
And yeah, we see where it goes. For now, it's just less than 48 hours I'm here. So let's see.
So,
And,
well, thanks.
we made great connection. Thanks to the delegation for that. And yeah, here we are.
Yeah, Shaq and his team do a great job.
Totally.
So he's
He's,
already been on to talk to us today. I'm only going to bring him back on if I get short on other guests. So, but GoEd does such a great job bringing delegations like yours in and finding opportunities for those synergies between the great things we have going on here and companies all around the world. So you got to meet with the T-Mobile folks, but we
Yeah.
have, we have a baseball stadium going up. We
course.
have Allegiant Stadium. We quite potentially have a basketball stadium going up sometime
Yeah,
soon.
yeah, yeah.
So there's a lot going on there. And thank you for sticking around for a few extra days. I guess the rest of your team had to take off. So
We'll be back very soon, I'm sure.
well, I love that. I love that. Is there any goal you have coming back next time?
Okay, thank you.
So, all right. Thank you so much for joining
Thank you.
us. It was nice to
Bye.
meet you.
Thank you.
Oh, thanks. Oh, that's all right. It's no big deal. We're I'm sorry. How many? Whoever wants to talk. So we just keep going. All right. It was good to meet you. All right. All right. What's going on, man? Sorry about the confusion. I had told they'd wanted to jump on and was like, oh, you guys are in the lunch line. Get lunch first so you don't miss out on lunch.
You don't,
And then-
you don't have to apologize,
Yeah.
man. I was supposed to do this last week, and then I saw a user experience event, so I just kind of like bounced here.
We wrapped up a little early last week too because we were having some equipment trouble. So sometimes when we don't have a line of people waiting, or we don't, like, we look around, we give it a few minutes, we vamp a little bit on here, and if no one's kind of in the immediate area waiting, we shut down. But it was a little hot on the internet, the Wi-Fi, so that we use to connect to the internet to stream. So we're like, it's probably as good a time as any to shut it down. So
Sounds good.
so what's going on?
Not much, man. We're here at Tech Alley. I've been coming here for a few years, and every time I come here, I feel like I'm like the dumbest person in the room, and
It's real easy to feel that way at Tech Alley.
because there's like so many talented people working in different industries within business, within startups, within just within Las Vegas, that they really know what they're doing, and they're really kind of pushing the boundaries of thinking.
Yeah, Sonny wanted to jump on earlier, and you know Sonny, right? Yeah. So Sonny wanted to jump on earlier, and he's talking about all the cool stuff he's doing with AI and the platform he's building, and it's like, wow, this is like he's in the thick of it. This is hard to keep up with.
Yeah, and the cool part is that there's first you gotta get out there, and you gotta kind of keep up with it. You gotta be comfortable with being the dumbest person in the room, and eventually you're gonna kind of start picking up on what people are doing, how they're approaching the problems, and more importantly, kind of what problem they're trying to solve with AI. Which I think a lot of times we talk about the cool tech, but we miss out on the problems that we're trying to solve using it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's the tech is cool, but the problems, the opportunities that we can, the problems we can solve, the opportunities we can achieve with AI are even more exciting, I think.
Yeah, for sure. And that's kind of just kind of finding that out. It took a long time, a lot of patience, but it was I'm a really nerd for the problems, and I know a lot of people are really big nerds for like the tech itself and designing it. Like, I love hearing talk about the problems that they're solving, because they always have kind of this sparkle in their eye. They're very passionate about the problem. They're very passionate about the industry, and now they're just looking for a solution to kind of solve the problem. And a lot of times they find that people right here at Tech Alley that could take the idea to the next level.
That's what's great about Tech Alley, and I'm really excited to hear that you're running into a lot of people who are passionate about a problem, because a lot of times in tech, what we find is people are passionate about the tech, and they're kind of in search of the problem they can solve with the tech they want to make, and that's one approach. But a more consistent, more solid approach that's going to help you with a business as an entrepreneur is to be in love with a problem and then find the tech to solve that problem. So what are some of the cool problems you're hearing about?
So there's people that are kind of, you're right. There's a few people that are kind of like working on the cool tech. A few of the cool problems that people are working on is, it's kind of local business related, but it's a lot of the, it's for small business. How do we keep up with the kind of this rush of AI? How do we implement it into the business?
Yeah.
How can this help our small business grow, succeed, and ultimately help out the customers figure out what we're trying to do and why we're the best to do this type of specific job?
Yeah, that is a huge challenge, because a lot of like medium to large size businesses are recognizing, oh, there's AI now. We need to be using AI for something. We don't know what we want to use it for, but we need to be doing AI. It was kind of like 10 years ago, it was like, well, I guess we need to be doing social media. I don't know what that means, but we need to be doing it, right? And we're kind of seeing the same thing with AI. A lot of these medium-sized companies are like, we need to be doing more AI. And what's crazy is you've got a lot of like frontline employees that are like, I would love to use AI to do this. And then you've got bosses who are like, well, but you're supposed to be doing that. Why are we paying you? Right? And so a lot of companies are trying to figure out how they're going to use AI and still maintain security, maintain safety, all that kind of stuff. So
yeah, it's a really cool space, and sometimes like the hard thing to remember is that the answer isn't really that easy to begin with, and sometimes AI isn't even like the answer to your question. Sometimes it's just being able to kind of in a simple way communicate what your company actually does and who it does it for, because if you can't even answer that like on your website,
that doesn't matter what you do with AI if you can't answer those questions.
Yeah, so a lot of kind of like the very simple feature that I've seen lately is just to get a chatbot out on your website. And I kind of feel like if somebody goes on your website and they can't figure out what your company does in like less than 10 seconds, like why do you need a chatbot to kind of tell you when you could just kind of put that on your website explicitly?
Yeah, if your chatbot is to clarify what you do, you've probably missed the boat. Your chatbot needs to be like, for the person who's like, hey, I want to order your thing.
Yeah.
How do I do that?
Yeah.
I mean, your website should probably have that already, but hey, I have a question, like, can I get different colors of your thing? It doesn't say on your website, right?
Yeah.
That's what a chatbot is for. Like, how quickly does this ship, right? That's what a chatbot is for, not like what this is.
Right. And I feel like I mean, there's so much to kind of knowing just kind of running a business, and like what we talked earlier, a lot of people kind of just want to jump on the solution, or like maybe the problem is just even
Well,
people are people.
Do you know what problem you're solving, right?
Yeah.
And if you don't know the answer to that, you may have the coolest tech idea in the world, but if you don't know the problem you're solving for someone, or you don't understand, you understand how this can help people, you don't understand the problem you're solving for them, you're gonna have a struggle communicating that to people and getting people interested in what you're doing.
Yeah. For example, earlier we were talking about a gym here in town that they're creating a chatbot for a gym, and they use kind of like AI machines. I think it's a small gym where they have like 5 or 6 machines.
Yep.
And they were kind of just talking about using kind of like a chatbot in the website to kind of talk about these 5 machines that they have in the gym. Well, if you're already like on the website, I feel like you could tell people about the 5 machines and without kind of like jumping onto like a chat box. I think.
Honestly, that all that website needs to say is why our gym is better for you than every other gym.
And that's
That needs to be the big banner on the front, and that's the most important. Why we're better.
And that's where I was getting at, like
You don't need a chatbot for that.
And I think a chatbot in this instance would be useful if I was trying to compare it to like, hey, I do CrossFit. Like, how does this compare to CrossFit, or how does this compare to prices in the city, or what benefits?
How does this mix into the other activities I do for workouts? Right. All that. That's chatbot's great for that.
Yeah. So it was but it's a lot of interesting. You take the journey and you learn from people. You kind of learn about their approaches, and it's really cool, man. It's a really cool. You keep learning.
So is that what you're working on now? Chatbots? What are you working on?
Oh no, we're actually I was a former aircraft maintainer in the Air Force, so we're kind of working on a wisdom at scale type problem for aviation maintenance. So every profession, every blue collar trade kind of has their own dimension of kind of wisdom that gets passed down from mechanics to mechanics. So think about in the old days when you used to kind of join a guild to kind of learn how to to build hammers, to learn woodsmithing, that type of stuff. So
yeah, well, like how still with tradespeople where we have apprenticeships, right?
Yes,
like plumbers, electricians, which we still need plenty of, by the way.
So and the interesting thing about that is that you learned a lot from that apprenticeship, but it was really localized. It didn't really kind of scale. So then humans they built books, right, that were scalable, but they kind of missed that what you learn from like apprenticeships. And
yeah, you really need both.
Right. So now with the advent of technology and kind of what we have out there, we had this idea to kind of within aviation scale that type of tacit knowledge. So we actually tapping into kind of this tacit dimension of aircraft mechanics at a massive scale. So within airframes and within different bases, and I always think about it kind of like from the Air Force perspective, how, let's say, for example, an F-16, they have different bases around the world. And normally that wisdom is kind of siloed within bases or within aircraft maintenance units. And my idea is that this tacit knowledge from every maintainer, let's say in an aircraft maintenance unit, it's important. It's important that it doesn't leave, but it actually does. So now when we put these 2 siloed aircraft maintenance units together, the whole of the 2 units are drastically even better now, because now these 2 units are learning all the tacit knowledge that there is to learn about the entire maintenance of the F-16. For example.
Yeah, I mean, a really great. Tell me if this is a really great example. We have F-16 bases that are out on the coast, right? And they have to deal with like corrosion control all the time and that kind of thing, right? Here at Nellis, we don't really have to worry about that. So, if you come to Nellis as a maintainer as your first base and you go off to one of those coastal bases, you have a lot you need to learn about corrosion control. And, you probably know the basics of the corrosion control program in the maintenance squadron, worldwide, but you're really going to get an education when you get to a base that's out on the coast.
Yeah, funny enough, like when the Navy would come out here for like an exercise, they were like watching their airplane like once a week. So they would come here TDY for 2 weeks. They would be watching like every single aircraft once a week out here in the desert.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like weird to us, but like the underlying kind of feature of kind of what we're building is that it has like a massive network effect component to it, where now the whole of these two maintenance units is better than the sum of the individual parts, the siloed maintenance units. So when we went to kind of approach this problem, it didn't kind of start out that way. We just took the journey and figured out like, hey, this kind of a big network effect problem. So now we have two maintenance units that are better than they would be individually. Now with what we're building now, it's not just the two maintenance units within the base. Now it goes from base to base, from country to country, and that's what's beautiful about like what technology has kind of allowed us to do to scale this asset knowledge.
So you're out there doing this right now.
We actually had a pretty big breakthrough like on Wednesday, and we got the engine working.
Great.
So we're pretty excited about that. There's still a lot of kind of work to be done, but
so what's coming next?
Ooh, man, we got to go out and sell. Find our. We already had a few interest in the customers. Now we got to tell them like, hey, we got the engine working. This is what we're thinking. Help us develop the user experience so it makes it easier for the mechanics.
Okay.
And ultimately, our strategy is to make the user experience flawless and make integration flawless and just focused on the customer.
And is this mainly focused on the Air Force? Is it focused on civilian aviation? What's it focused on?
Oh, so we started in the civilian aviation market because it's first off, it's not as regulated as the Air Force is, which is a good and a bad thing, but it's a great opportunity for us because the big contractors aren't paying attention to this market altogether. It's a very fragmented market. It's a market where a lot of the maintainers take on a lot of personal liability and risk, and so we built this solution around exactly what they needed and around the industry.
So you built it with them in mind, but you're starting in civilian aviation because it'll be a little bit easier to break into.
Exactly. That's our beachhead market, and we know that once we get this product out to the market, and if it works, and if people need it, and if it actually solves like the problem.
If you can get some whether they're commercial aviation companies or even a couple small airlines using it, there's a pathway through different parts of the military, especially like the special operations community, where they're willing to take a risk on this stuff before it goes out to the whole like big military fleets. So
so like and that's kind of one thing I'm really kind of optimistic about is that it's a dual use technology. Even though my experience was in the Air Force, like I had to learn about like the civilian maintenance market, and they're very similar in a lot of ways, but very different in a lot of different ways. And the strategy was like, hey man, get it out to our beachhead market. We'll test it out, and when we're ready, we could have the talks with the Air Force, with cyber programs, and now we could really kind of get some funding for it.
I think that's a great strategy.
Yeah. So it was really kind of cool to kind of take that journey to really take an idea from your head, and it's going to be in like the hands of maintainers soon. Those are the people I love. Those are the people I work with, and aviation is just like one of those things that kind of excites me.
That's really exciting. It's a brave new world coming up, and you guys got your agent working, so now you're kind of at the starting line.
Oh yeah, it's and like I said, it was with kind of like technology nowadays, and there's like a lot of promise about, you hear all this hype about like, hey, we can get an app out in like 2 or 3 days, and a lot of times like when you can have an app out in 2 or 3 days, like anybody could have that same app out in 2 or 3 days.
Yeah, you got to have more than just the app.
Yeah,
it's got to have.
So our the crazy part is that when it kind of started to come together, when me and my co-founder started kind of thinking about it, like the moat for this business is never going to be the technology, because that thing's going to keep changing, keep getting better. The moat is actually going to be the data that
The data, and it's going to be your reputation and the relationships you build to be trusted, right? Because when anyone can build an app that does the same thing in 30 minutes,
yeah.
right? Your reputation and the trust you build and the relationships you build are going to be what carries that business forward.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was really kind of I kind of went through this whole kind of really long journey since August. I left my job in August as a maintainer to kind of pursue,
Focus on this full time. Yeah.
and a year of focus makes a tremendous difference. If you ever have the opportunity to kind of take the journey and you're good, like financially, take the journey. There's going to be a lot of really hard days. There's going to be a lot of really
Well, and this is where the burn the boats philosophy comes from, because when you can be focused on it every day, you make a lot more progress. You make more mistakes faster. You learn things faster. So that's why you hear a lot of this burn the boats philosophy. But it's great to be committed, but you have to do smart things too.
Right,
so,
right.
but yes, you do get a lot out of being able to be fully focused on your venture.
Yeah, and that's really what made the difference for me. When I first kind of started this journey, I had this kind of preconceived idea of what I wanted to do, and I pursued it. And the people that I started with ended up kind of leaving because they really didn't have any skin in the game. They still had their old job, and they were just kind of, hey, if it works out with Richard, cool, I'll follow him, I'll quit my job. But if it doesn't work out, I still have my job. So,
Yep.
And I realized early on that was kind of that was a mistake that I learned as a founder.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's about level of commitment, not about where it is about where you spend your time, but it's about level of commitment. If you've got a great team of people who really believe in what they're doing, and they're working a day job, and then they're working the equivalent of a day job plus, working for your startup, you've got a really great team, right?
Yeah.
It's the ones who are like, this isn't as easy as I thought it was. I'm just going to go back to my day job, because they're not that committed to it.
Yeah, and
It's hard.
And like, to be honest, like around February or March, like it kind of, the first idea that I started with, it really kind of wasn't working out.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, I was kind of like, man, like I'm gonna have to go back to my old job. I'm gonna have to call him and see if I can still get my old job back as a aircraft mechanic.
Mhm.
And I don't know what happened, man. Like I dug deep. I kept reading. I kept showing up every day until finally.
That's all you can do.
Until one day, like a month or two later, I just kind of had my aha moment.
Mhm.
I'm like, hey, man, like I really got to dig into my strengths as an aircraft mechanic, as a data scientist, and it was right in front of my face the whole time, like what we should have been doing, because this is a problem that I had day in, day out, every day of my life.
Yeah, because you went through a couple iterations on what you were doing before you got to this.
Yep. And we had that aha moment. I kept showing up to Tech Alley. I ended up meeting my co-founder here, and we had our aha moment together, and we just went for it, man. And we went to, like I said, we started with the problem first, and whatever we had to do to kind of figure out the solution. But the problem, the customer was like the most important thing, and it still is to this point.
Yeah, and it has to be.
Yeah.
So
it was I was really kind of proud of myself for like not quitting and just going back to my old job, because, hey man, like a few months later, like now we had the thing, we know the engine works. Like now that kind of like reinvigorated the kind of enthusiasm and the energy that we had going into it.
that's great.
Yeah.
So
And along the way, I learned to kind of lean into like the military community, the veteran startup community,
Yep.
And they've been like a tremendous help. And
absolutely.
absolutely
So
tremendous.
all right. So what did you watch in the first round of Tech Alley today? What are you going to go watch for the rest of the day?
I hung out with the AI the AI people,
Yep.
and even though I was still like the dumbest person in the room, I really like to be in places where people are kind of passionate about what they talk about. And even though like I'm not in that Kool-Aid, so to speak, my kind of role with my company is kind of like a little more strategic and more customer focused. There's a lot of like gold nuggets within that talk. you talk about how they're approaching the problems, what their problems are, and I think that's very valuable for any kind of co-founder.
Yeah,
at the very edge of-
there's always something to learn at Tech
Yeah.
Alley, even if it's a little bit above your head. There's always something to learn.
Absolutely, and I'm really gonna go check out the user experience people because
Oh, that's going to be great. Have you seen Abigail's talks before?
oh yeah,
Yeah, she's really great.
and obviously for us, like user experience is kind of paramount in kind of how
Yeah,
we're approaching the problem.
sure.
So we talk a lot about storytelling. We talk a lot about the hero's journey,
Yeah,
which is similar to what we do. The hero's journey is everywhere, and it kind of repeats itself at
Yep.
scale. I realized when we kind of took this journey. So like that's very just being able to kind of tell that story of the mechanic that's goes through that moment of change. It's happening thousands of times a day at a massive scale around the world. So I really want to be a part of that, and I really want to be able to kind of tell that story with our application, with the work that we do. And,
excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. So, all right. Well, we're coming up on it's 1:09 right now, so that talk is probably UX talk is probably about to get started. So,
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for having me, man.
so no, it was great to have you. It's always good to see you. Come back anytime.
I'm always here, man. I'm always in the community. I'm always talking to
Yep,
people.
we see you out at everything. So,
I like to learn, man. And the cool thing about taking the journey is that my job is to learn, to soak it all in, and it's been a crazy journey, man.
it has been.
And
It has been.
It's only starting.
I've seen you go through a couple of iterations of it over the last couple of years. So,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, man. More to come, man. So
more to come. But it sounds like you're on the right path, and you have an MVP now. So. So which is a huge deal, and you've got your MVP, and now you can start getting some traction on that. And
yeah, man. And kind of like the last thing I have to say is that clarity was absolutely everything. There was obviously like in just the Department of Defense, there's a lot of opportunities. And when I kind of first started this journey in August, I was kind of all over the place. I didn't know what opportunity I want to take because everything you can make money off it. Seems like you could take money off everything, but when you kind of mold your company around what other people are doing, like now they have more money than you, they could outcompete you in a lot of different ways. So I with this venture, I dove into what I was passionate about, what I cared about, and I just went all in on kind of my nerdiness and my love for data science, my love for aviation, my love for the mechanics, and we created something that was very different than what's out there now. So we're going to continue the journey.
which I think is going to help a lot of people. So
Yeah. So thank you so much for having me.
My pleasure.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
thanks for joining us. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, we are coming up on the second round of talks. Lunch is wrapping up here at Tech Alley. Let me give you the rundown of what is coming up for the rest of the afternoon here. By the way, shout out to Taverna Costera for providing lunch to everyone who attends Tech Alley. They provide free lunch to everyone who attends Tech Alley. And they also provide water, coffee, the space for us to do this live stream, the space for us to do all the great networking we do here. So let me pop open my email because we are going to give you the rundown of what's going on. Richard just talked about he's going to go to the user experience and product design with Abigail Otero starting here at 1:15. It is now 1:12. So you still have time to get down here and see the second round of talks and see the third round of talks. So 1:15, second round of meetups. Demo time, always a favorite with our good friend Josh Stacy. The drones meetup with Victory. That's another good friend of the show. Eric Lacasse, AI search engine optimization. That is one that people are attending and really loving what Eric is talking about there. Another good friend of the show. As I mentioned, user experience and product design with Abigail Otero. Then the Las Vegas Python meetup with Adam Englander. And Ask a Health Broker with Oliver Ali Gugaud. I hope I'm saying that right. Gugaud. That's everything in the second round of talks here starting at 1:15. And then 2:45 is the third round of meetups. We have Sin City Programmers with Justin Otero and Joshua Stacy. Blockchain Self-Custody with James Roop. I think that's going to be in the theater today. We don't have the Journey Gallery today. And the SolidWorks User Group Meetup with Raquel Very. So that's what's coming up for the rest of the day. be fantastic if you guys came down here. If you are in Las Vegas and you're interested in all these tech things, and you can make it today, we're down at Taverna Costera at the corner of Charleston and Main in downtown Las Vegas. If you can't make it today, we're here the third Saturday of every month for the whole Tech Alley program, and we do our live stream from here. It's all centered around Taverna Costera, who's the food and drink sponsor for the show and gives us the courtyard space to work out of. And if you are not in Las Vegas, but you are interested in tech, you're a startup founder, you're an investor, you want to see what's going on in our tech startup and entrepreneurship community here in Las Vegas, come on down here. Try to plan your trip to be here for the third Saturday of the month. We're here for Tech Alley every third Saturday of the month. So I'm going to take a quick second to get a water here, and then I will be right back. Yeah, we're just doing a live stream. All right. Oh, we have had a wall to wall session here today with lots of great guests. So let me check on a couple things here. Take a little break. You guys can take a break as well. All right. Let me just see how things are going here. What am I looking for? There we go. Let's take a look at this. Well, our video quality is pretty good on YouTube. No complaints there. Let's check it on LinkedIn. All right, checking our LinkedIn video quality. Take a look at this. Yeah, we're doing pretty good on the video quality on LinkedIn. No complaints here. It's always hard to understand what our LinkedIn is going to be, what our video quality is going to be. So, and you know what, let me look at this real quick. It's this is always a little bit of a quiet part of the day here, so we'll take advantage of that. What are we doing on this? That is 35 impressions. Excelente. Get back out of that. Back out of that. Let's look how we're doing on Facebook. All right, back out of that. There. Okay. Oh, that's not what I want. Let's do this. No, we don't need to switch. Let's look at the live. And yeah, our video quality is doing pretty good today. All right. Better than it's been in the past, so no complaints there. All right. And let's see what we got cooking here. Here. Oh, we got 2 here. Try to handle social media stuff. Doing great on time. Oh. Stretch it out a bit. See if we got any takers who want to be on. If we don't, we'll start packing things up in a little bit. No comments from folks yet, so but you know you're always free. Please leave a comment. So we'll handle it. Hey, good. No, you want to jump on? I'm just fantastic. You can come. You can jump on right now. Yeah, I was just checking the video quality on the various streams. So you never know how it's going to be on a live stream. You know, we're recording it all in 4K, so we've got like really high quality video. Like when we do the clips to put on the Monday show, that's all the 4K video that I cut up. But
listen, I'm getting more and more wrinkles by the day. Do we need 4K? Can we get it down to?
You want me to? I'll tell you what. I'll do some good color correction and smoothing for you because I'm in the same boat. I'm in the same boat.
I'll tell you what, bud. It's catching up to me.
Yeah, no, you always look great on the high quality videos.
Young at heart. That's what matters.
So,
well, I appreciate you having me on.
My pleasure.
See who we got here.
It's great. I'm glad we got to talk to you today because I don't think did we get to talk last time?
We did last time, not the time before.
Okay.
Did you want to use your mic so you have good audio?
You want to just clip it on him? Okay. Do you have a mic you want to clip on him? Yeah, go ahead and clip it on him. It won't interfere with what we're doing.
Yeah, okay, good.
So,
all right. Well, I appreciate you taking your time to be out here.
Yeah. Oh no, I love doing this. I've been coming to Tech Alley for a long time, and this is
give me 5.
This is just a great way to be part of what's going on and share a lot of stories that wouldn't normally get out there. So
see you soon. Apologize about that.
Oh, no worries.
No worries. Gopai's one of the coders, and so I think he's probably one of the most valued of our community because coders are difficult to find.
Well, you know, so that has kind of been our theme today.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you caught it. Our very first guest this morning.
Is that Jace?
Was that young girl Rose who's on the robotics team?
Amazing, isn't
and
she?
She's
so
she's got a whole team of people on her robotics team who are all interested in engineering and coding and prototyping and all that kind of stuff.
Cool.
And then she's working with like young girls in elementary school to get them interested in engineering and STEM. And in December she's doing like a women in tech event.
Well, let's talk about that. Are we live?
We're live. We turn this on and we go unless stuff shuts down because of the heat. So we just go till we're done. So
well, speaking of the heat, it is beautiful outside.
It's gorgeous day. Gorgeous.
It's a little warm, but it's perfect.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? For a day like this, and you can't beat it. It seems like every third Saturday, someone turns a knob and says, "Well, let's give them good weather."
Yep.
Because
it's Tech Alley. We can't have it be too hot or too cold or too windy or too rainy for Tech Alley. We've had 54 gorgeous days in a row.
We are incredibly fortunate. Haven't had rain yet, knock on wood. But you were talking about Rose earlier, and I wanted to hear more about that.
Yep.
Because she's absolutely doing incredible work, and she'll be here at next Tech Alley. right? So
Yeah, I hope so.
what she said.
Because she gets one more bite at the apple to promote the December
There's-
Women in Tech
that's
event.
what she's
so.
doing December 4th. So if you're watching and you're thinking about, we have any watchers? We might have a watcher. If you're watching, thank you for being in the 1%, for sure.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a stage out here in the courtyard.
Yes.
It's a big stage, and so it's gonna be really interesting. I imagine we'll probably have our artists back set up, and I think
I hope
next
so.
month is gonna be a big one.
Yeah. Well, I think because it'll be the kind of the kickoff for Global Entrepreneurship Week.
That's right.
Will be happening. So there'll be a lot of attention on everything coming up for that week before Thanksgiving, but especially Tech Alley, because that will be, everyone will kind of be will be primed, because we're spending the next month talking about Global Entrepreneurship Week coming up. So
It is so important, and it's important, I know, to Joshua Levitt, the founder of Tech Alley, but also important to the work that we do with Stanley Crypto. So maybe worth mentioning, of course, if you're not familiar, stanleycrypto.org, they're sponsors of ours at Vegas Crypto Group. And what we do is we work with crypto-friendly politicians to push forward crypto-friendly policy.
Mm-hmm.
And that is opening the doors for innovation here in the Valley, and really in Nevada, all of Nevada. So we're business friendly in Nevada. We really are. And
compared to a lot of places, yeah. And you guys had a lot of victories this year with Stand with Crypto and legislation you've got passed. What are you working on now? Now that you've had so much success this year, what's next? What is Stand with Crypto working on now, both big picture and here in Nevada?
That's a great question. Thank you for recognizing the success. Absolutely. We had one bill pass. We had over 300,000 people reach out to their representatives just in the past few weeks. And so we're really garnering a lot of support around what we're doing. A lot of successes, but I got to be honest, it feels like maybe we're 5% of the way there.
Okay. It's early. We're early in the game. We're kind of like the top of the first here.
Yeah. But hey, great start. And if we keep trending this way, we're going to see the doors of innovation open right here in America. And I want to be at the forefront here in Nevada. And we're working with Representative Congressman Horsford and others to be able to enable entrepreneurs and startups and people that are interested in getting going in business, especially specifically around blockchain, crypto, Web3. And in our events, we have about 10 a month. We focus on AI. But
you guys have a ton of events. I try to catch them all in the Monday rundowns, but you guys have a ton going on.
I like to say jokingly that I like to confuse people, because it's like every other Monday, it's every other Tuesday, every other Wednesday.
Yep. And then you got your monthly first Wednesday of the month.
That's right.
At Red Rock, and
That's right.
Web3 Wednesday.
That's right. We have a great time at Web3 Wednesday, and it's a ton of events, but they're all listed on VegasCryptoGroup.com and Meetup.com, but we really love to come here and support. So I look at this as our big event of the month. The third Saturday of every month. And so if you remember anything, you're out here listening, remember the third Saturday right here in the Arts District. It's a great time, great crowd, good people. You get to meet Jason in real life.
Yeah, you can't go. I mean, besides that, you can't go wrong, because yes, there are lots of tech events. You guys have a lot of Web3 crypto events, but there's a lot more to the tech community here. And one of the great things about coming to Tech Alley is you get to meet the drones people. And when I say meet the drones people, I don't just mean the folks who like to play with drones and have fun with drones. The guy who runs the drone meetup, Victory, has a drone startup that just got a bunch of funding and had a major product release a couple of months ago. So we're talking about the people who are on the cutting edge of the technology and business here in town, right? Josh Stacy will do demo time. You'll get to Josh Stacy's an incredible engineer, an incredible businessman, and he's doing great things with his company, Big TB, to help people grow their businesses and build their tech businesses. But also he's hosting demo time, and you just get to see the cool projects people are working on. So
it's not just that. Timothy May does the AI meetup. He's absolutely incredible. Probably one of the busiest meetups. But there's about 15 different meetups here. James T. Roop and myself. James helps with the blockchain track, and he does a great job there.
Absolutely.
And the city continues to progress. And so before we wrap it up, I just kind of remind people here, not everybody lives on the Strip here in Vegas, right? And those bright lights drown out what we have is a real community. And so we're so honored to be able to spread the word and let everybody know. And so if you or your friend or your family member is interested in tech, and you know what, you may run a laundromat, but you still need that tech layer.
Need tech. You still need a tech stack. It's 2025. I don't care what your business is. You need a tech stack.
It's time. This is the place. And we are going to put Vegas on the map. Tech Alley, techalley.org, every third Saturday.
Well,
and Jason, you do incredible work. Thank you so
I
much.
appreciate it. Yeah, I love hearing that. We're all We're all working. We've had a lot of victories across the board this year in our tech community. I really kind of see this light at the end of the tunnel of it's a pipe dream, but someday we'll get to people think about Las Vegas for tech. Also, there's gambling and entertainment.
Right. How about that? And that's coming, people.
And we'll never get to that, but let's work to that, right? Where people think of Las Vegas as the West Coast tech hub, and there's also some fun stuff to do.
Las Vegas is definitely a nexus for so many beautiful, wonderful places like San Francisco and San Diego and LA and Phoenix and so many others. We're an international market. Before we wrap, I also want the people watching my channel to know, Jason, more about what you do in your everyday life and your businesses, and then and where they can find you.
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot we were doing your stream. So
how about make sure they can hear you.
let me clip the.
Just hold it right about there.
Yeah, that's cool. So my primary business is Jason LeDuc Leadership Consultants. So I do leadership and strategy training for businesses. I take everything I learned about building teams and taking teams all around the world, doing cool stuff I can't talk about. I take all of that knowledge that I learned the hard way and bring it out to companies and businesses so you can build your teams, build the kind of leaders you need and want and really desire to have for your companies in the future. And we do that through workshops. We do that through one-on-one coaching. I have a leadership academy program where we come in once a month and we do a half-day in-person workshop with your team. And then we do, in the weeks that we're not there with you, we do one-on-one virtual coaching with all the participants in that program. And we do that over the course of about 4 months. So, and that's a really like leadership fundamentals that start at the very beginning about why leadership is important, and then get through all these tools to basically to build your frontline managers into the strategic leaders for your company of the future. So that's what we're doing with that. On Mondays, I do the Vegas startup scene rundown of everything happening in the Las Vegas tech community. So check this YouTube channel, my YouTube channel, Jason LeDuc Leadership Consultants. Check that, or Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. Check for that every Monday morning about 10 a.m. ish. I usually record them on Monday morning so I don't miss some of the weekend news. To make sure we get it all in there. So sometimes they're out a little later than 10 between editing and uploading and that kind of stuff. On Tuesdays, I do an educational topic for leadership. So a short 3 to 5 minute video on one topic with usually 2 or 3 practical things you can start doing today. One thing about Vegas Startup Scene on the Mondays, the commitment I made to myself and I made to all of you is no matter how much news is going on, that will always be less than 10 minutes long. So you have one place to go to try to get all the news you can in 10 minutes about what's happening in our Vegas startup scene. That was really important to me, that there's one place people can go and listen or watch it instead of having to look up a bunch of stuff. So 10 minutes or less, you get my best rundown I can give you on what's happening. And then Thursdays, I put out what's called a Leader's Mindset interview, longer form interview with a leader from business, the government, some kind of leader. We've been doing a lot of tech CEOs and tech CTOs lately from different companies around the country. So we're excited. I'm hoping this week I can have lunch with the chief strategy officer of a British neural device company. I met him at CES. He was really great. I'm hoping to have lunch with him this week and then get him on the show coming up here in the next couple months. So.
All right. And so where can people find you again one last time?
Search Jason LeDuc Leadership Consultants online. The YouTube channel is Jason LeDuc Leadership Consultants. On social media, it's LeDuc Leadership. I think it's LeDuc Leadership everywhere now. So Instagram, X, Facebook, just search LeDuc Leadership and you will find it.
How about it? Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Guys, I've learned a ton just from the shorts that he's put on about leadership on YouTube and on Instagram. And so check out the longer form interviews and come see us at Tech Alley. One last reminder, guys, techalley.org every third Saturday. We can't wait to see you.
Yeah. A quick pitch for the latest episode of The Leader's Mindset is Robert Greshik. He is the founder of LumiWealth. You may have heard of it, but they are a company that has created an AI platform that helps traders develop trading strategies.
Whoa.
So that is out now. That is the episode that came out Thursday. So check that out. That was a super fun interview to do with him. I really enjoyed getting to know Robert, and LumiWealth is a really great company. In addition to the trading, the AI platform, they do a bunch of educational videos on different kinds of trading as well. So
amazing. And I'll just remind everyone out there watching, this is the heart of Las Vegas. Our community is really the heart of the technology scene, and we're growing, and we will become known as a technology hub. One way or another, this is happening, and you're watching, I think, the very beginnings of it. And so with that, we'll leave you. Definitely check out Jason Leduc. You can find me at vegascryptogroup.com and then learn more about Tech Alley at techalley.org.
Before you go, I want you to tell our audience, besides Tech Alley, because I know
Yes,
if you're
sir.
going to do one tech event in town, this month, do Tech Alley. But out of your events, out of all the Vegas Crypto Group events, if people are going to do one event, which one should they come do?
Yeah, that's a great question. It depends on what their interest levels are and also where in town that you are. So we have events in Henderson. If you're in Henderson, come see us at Sierra Gold on Eastern. That's every other Tuesday. If you're in Summerlin, you probably maybe don't want to come to Henderson. We want you to come to Henderson. But if you don't want to come
guys,
to
it's not that far. Get over
it's
it.
not that far. It's a quick freeway drive, So, we're in Summerlin, first and third Wednesday of every month, and so you can check meetup.com, Vegas Crypto Group, vegascryptogroup.com for all the details on those events. And then if you're watching this month, October, we have a Halloween celebration Tuesday, October 21st. It's at the Goat Sports Bar that's on Sahara and Valley View. Come see us there. We'll have a costume contest. We have Bitcoin Bingo, which is a blast. Jason, we've done 2 of them.
I got to start getting to these.
The bingo is so much fun, guys.
And then I really got to try to get to those Web3 Wednesdays at Red Rock. So
come on out. So we got it all. And then we'll be doing more as we get closer to the end of the year. And then I'd like to just give a quick shout out to January. We have our CES Crypto Happy Hour. And so we're the ones holding the flag for the past 7 years here in Las Vegas. And when it comes to CES, there's quite a few blockchain companies, even more now. But there was never anywhere for them to all kind of come together. And I've held the flag for years. So we have about 500 RSVPs last year. I think we'll have more this year. So if you're interested in crypto, you'll be here for CES. 150,000 people will be here for CES.
Easily. Hopefully more. Guys, don't
Usually
sleep on
more.
CES events.
Yeah.
CES is amazing. A lot of these events are invite only. So if you have an invitation to a CES event like this one, absolutely show up. Do not sleep on CES events. It's such a fun, high energy week every year. And a lot of the local startup scene stuff, no matter when it usually happens during the month, actually gets shifted to CES week because we get all these people from out of town. And like last year, Fusion, or earlier this year, Kurt Walker moved all his Fusion 42 events and had pitch nights and social events and all kinds of crazy stuff. Startup Vegas usually moves their pitch night to CES week. And so if you get invites to CES events in Vegas, take them.
It's an international audience, and it's an opportunity for you to get exposure that you probably wouldn't be able to do.
I can't wait. I can't wait. I actually have to reach out. I have to see if I can get a media pass to CES again this year. That was a lot of fun. I didn't even get around to anything but the startup pavilion last year. I just spent 2.5 days going around talking to different startups.
Well, for those that don't know, it takes over the entire city. I think there's like 4 or 5 casinos.
It is now. It's
all
everywhere.
the
It's everywhere. It's the Las
can't
Vegas
miss it.
Convention Center. It is the Sands Convention Center. I believe it's
Venetian.
partially at Mandalay Bay.
Mandalay Bay,
They've
yep.
added Caesars properties
That's right.
now. It's everywhere now.
Takes over the city, almost like F1 does in a way.
Almost like F1.
Almost like F1.
And it's great. Don't sleep on CES events. Even if you're not going to CES, if you're in Vegas and you've got events that are open, like Mike's and for CES week, check it out. You won't regret it.
Nice. That's a great way to wrap. Definitely check out Jason Leduc online and here at Tech Alley, and techalley.org for more. And I mean, this is the way people keep up with what's happening in Vegas, and it's people like Jason that allows us to update everyone. So thank you so much for your time today. We'll make sure when this gets online, we'll share it out to everyone. And thank you for your great work at letting people know what we're doing here in
It's
Vegas.
my pleasure.
Yeah. All right, Jason.
All right, thanks, brother.
All right.
We'll see you.
All right, guys.
Thanks. Anytime.
We're going to take some shorts out.
I hope so. Tag me and I'll share them. Yep. All right. That's what it's all about, folks. That's what it's all about. That's why we do this live stream. That's why we come and do this at Tech Alley. It's what Tech Alley and our tech community here is all about, is making these connections and sharing what we have going on and inviting people to stuff and getting people to show up to each other's stuff. It's really what it's all about. So let's see. Let's do a little housekeeping while we've got a few free minutes, because we are at about 1:38. We're typically at about the time we start wrapping up and packing up. Excuse me. if you're thinking about coming down here and talking to us, whether it's this time or next time, we hang out and we keep talking. As long as there are people in line, as long as there are people hanging out who want to come on the live stream and talk to us, we'll talk all day. So, but we are looking like it's thinning out a little bit here. So we'll probably start packing up in a bit. Let me give a shout out to Josh Levitt and Tech Alley to thank him for letting us be part of Tech Alley. Let me turn and lean in a little bit here so I can look at the camera. But yeah, thanks to Josh Levitt and Tech Alley for letting us be part of this. It's always great to be part of what's going on here at Tech Alley, and everybody putting up with my nonsense for a few hours on a Saturday. What else? Thanks to Taverna Costera, who sponsors all the food and the coffee and the water, gives us this great courtyard to work in, a great courtyard to eat lunch in. Remember, every participant of Tech Alley, if you come in and you sign in, you get free lunch on Taverna Costera, and it's always amazing. It's always great. So definitely come if you're in Vegas and you're even if you're just looking for a free lunch on a Saturday, come on down third Saturday of the month and check out Tech Alley and the free lunch you can get here at Taverna Costera. But the connections you will make, the people you will meet, it is well worth it to come down here. And then the tech talks, lots of tech talks. So you can definitely come down. There's always something to learn at Tech Alley. So let me give you the rundown of what has already happened today, because if you're thinking about coming next time, we'll give you an idea of what's coming up next time, and we'll give you an idea of what's coming up today. If you're still interested in coming down here to Tech Alley, the second round of talks is still running until about 2:30. Let me grab my glasses here and let me give you the rundown. So earlier this morning, what we had, what we got here. Okay. Let's get out of that. Let's get back to this. There we go. So earlier this morning, just to give you guys an idea of what's already happened, first round of meetups is always at 11 a.m. And so we come in, we do networking at 10 a.m., networking, coffee, water. People hang out in the courtyard. We have an amazing time. And remember, next time we're going to have all that stuff going on in the big courtyard over there. Tied into Global Entrepreneurship Week. We had the Arts and Crafts Fair sitting right out in front of where we were here. I had hoped we get to talk to some of those folks, but we didn't get to this time. But if they're back, we'll get them next time. So that's what happens at 10. Everyone arrives. We do networking. We have coffee. We hang out. We do announcements and let everyone know what's going on for the day. At 11 a.m. this morning, we had an active angel investor's perspective with Ross W. Newman, which is so important. So important to understand what investors are looking for, what their investment philosophies are, why they choose to invest in the companies they choose to invest in. And Ross gave us a lot of that this morning. Rachel Gomez hosted Innovation Essentials from UNLV. Will Wang did the Agile and Scrum meetup, Las Vegas AI meetup with Timothy May. And then we had a chance to sit with a startup attorney with Caleb Green this morning for the first session. We had lunch starting at 12:15. Like I said, lunch is always amazing. And if you are attending Tech Alley, you get free lunch at Taverna Costera. Okay. Then we had 1:15 p.m. We had the second round of meetups. That's going on right now. So if you're interested in this and you're in Las Vegas, you want to come to downtown Las Vegas at the corner of Charleston and Main, you can still get in on these. So demo time with Josh Stacy, the drone meetup with Victory, AI search optimization with good friend of the show, Eric Lacasse. Abigail Otero is doing your user experience and product design right now. That's happening right now. If you're interested in user experience, come on down. You can see what's going on right now. Las Vegas Python meetup with Adam Englander, and then Ask a Health Broker with Ali Gogao. I'm gonna have to ask how to say that name. And then that'll go to about 2:30. Then there'll be a little bit of a break, and then at 2:45 we'll have the third round of meetups, which will be Sin City Programmers with Justin Otero and Josh Stacy, the blockchain / self-custody meetup with James Roop. Mike was just talking about that. Gave a really solid pitch for why you should come down and see that. And then new this month is the SolidWorks user group meetup, the very first one with Raquel Very. So that's what's happening coming up here. Always good stuff happening at Tech Alley. So that's what's happening. Josh Levitt. Have you seen Josh, Shaq? I thought I saw him take off that way. He's wearing a Tech Alley t-shirt. So He will probably come back at some point. But have you guys seen Josh Levitt? Yeah, I mean he's always floating around, but it's a little random how he's doing it. So yeah, I would say check out the rooms, but he'll be the guy with the Tech Alley T-shirt on. So we should put an air tag, on Josh and put a monitors up around, or have an app you can find Josh on your phone. Yeah, Josh doesn't sit still for long, so. Who is? Okay, yeah. Absolutely, yeah. Let's get connected up. All right. Hey, Dave, you got any final thoughts you want to wrap up with today?
Sorry, I bailed on you, man. I've been
It's been wall to
working the
wall. We've had
community.
until about 30 minutes ago, it was wall to wall people who wanted to talk. I had a real quick break to kind of give the rundown of what was happening, and then a couple other folks wanted to come talk, and Mike gave us a good rundown on Stand with Crypto and Vegas Crypto Group, and now we're kind of hitting the time if we don't have people waiting to talk. This is when we start packing up. So,
Yeah.
So
Love
but
it.
I wanted to give you a quick opportunity because we didn't have much time to talk earlier because we wanted to get Rose on. So
Yeah, no, I think the thing as far as like Global Entrepreneurship Week, I think everything's moving for that. So if people want to grab all the information that you could ever need about it, www.gew.co, and then the local site is www.gewnevada.com, and you're going to find everything that you need there. What I'm really excited about for the energy today was here at Tech Alley. There's a whole lot of new people.
yes, there
A
were
whole
a lot
lot
of
of
new
new
people
people.
today, and we didn't get to talk about that yet.
Yeah, and a whole lot of new people coming, just people excited and trying to see what's going on in the community. And just I also saw a lot of connection, so many connections of just people jumping up, introducing themselves, handshakes happening, but also like commitments of like, hey, I want to get you involved with this, I want to connect you with that, and it's really cool to see that. That's my favorite thing about this event.
Yeah, and there was a lot of that today. There was a lot of I'm here for the first time. I want to meet as many people as I can. Hey, let me introduce myself to you. Like a lot of times we're seeing folks who've been here a while doing some introducing to people. Today I saw a lot of let me introduce myself, which I really, really like.
Yeah, no, great connections. More things to come, I think for sure. And then the best part about this one is, like you said, you could always set your clock to the third Saturday, and there's going to be new people here. There's going to be great people here. So you should definitely come down and check it out IRL, in real life.
In real life, yeah, for sure. So we talked a little bit about GEW. You gave us a rundown on what we know, what may be coming. I know there's some special announcements coming. That everyone's going to have to stay tuned for.
Yep.
So,
and I promise I'm not just like dangling the carrot. Like there's
it's
some real cool stuff coming.
That's what's actually really great about Global Entrepreneurship Week is we start kicking this off about March-ish, like the first discussions, but everybody's always trying to add value to it right up until the week of.
Yeah.
So like we'll do this again. We'll be here in November, a couple of days before Global Entrepreneurship Week starts, and we'll be giving you as full a rundown as we can.
Yeah.
But I will guarantee you sometime within a day or two after we do this live stream next time, there will be something new that pops up that week that we'll be trying to get the word up about.
Yep,
So
absolutely.
So stay tuned for what's going on with Tech Alley. Get those websites bookmarked, get those social media sites favorited.
Yep.
Because there'll be news that comes out midweek of Global Entrepreneurship Week of something happening Thursday or Friday.
True. I'm excited about it, my friend.
So we did talk about GEW. Is there any veterans community stuff we want to talk about?
Oh yeah, let's talk about Southern Nevada Veterans Chamber of Commerce, snvcc.org. They have the big big event going on over in Summerlin at the lawn in Summerlin. They have the big veteran festival going on November 8th.
Okay.
So really cool stuff going on there. They also have a mixer coming up on the 25th.
Yes,
I don't know
it's
where
a
that one's
Saturday
at.
now.
It's a Saturday now.
It
They
is
did
at
mix it up.
Gatsby's
Yeah,
in
Gatsby's.
Resorts World.
Yeah,
so it was,
'cause I
it
think-
was originally supposed to
yeah.
be Friday. It is now Saturday.
Yeah.
So if you've been tracking that and
Yeah.
you were planning on going Friday, don't go Friday. I mean,
Yep.
go, but
Yeah, go any day.
SNVCC won't be there.
But yeah, and a lot of this is going on because of not the military influencer conference. Which one is it? MCon. MCon is going on next weekend.
Yep.
So lots of cool stuff going on in that one, and we've got some cool people coming out. I think I need to re-plug you in with Travis Johnson because
Yes, actually, we did plug, and he asked if we could catch up for lunch, and I told him absolutely, and I
Cool.
told him which days I was free, and said pick one, and then I don't think I heard from him, so I need to.
Well, he's staying at my house for the whole
yeah,
trip.
what I need to ping him again and say, hey, maybe give him maybe put a little more structure in that and say, hey, can we do it this day and
Yeah,
see if that works.
100%.
I just didn't want to. I know he's probably trying to see 1 million people while he's here,
Yeah.
so I wanted to kind of make it work for him. But
Love it.
I do need to re-engage with him. But yeah, we're plugged back in. Yep, Vets and Tech Gala is coming up on the 7th. I'm going to go up for that. So
Love it. I love it.
So
many great things.
good stuff going on. Well, everybody, thanks for joining us today. It's always a pleasure to have you join us for what goes on at Tech Alley. What I did not get to mention today, because we are out live on the Tech Alley channel in addition to my channel. What I didn't get to mention to you all today, because it slipped my mind and we had such great guests, is if you aren't able to make it down to Tech Alley, and if you are in Vegas and you're interested in this stuff, we really encourage you to come down. We want you to come down IRL, as Dave said. But if you're interested in what's going on in these talks and you can't make it for whatever reason, these talks from today will be up on the Tech Alley YouTube channel. They will probably be up within the next day or two. So they get them up pretty quickly. So if all the things we talked about on the schedule sound really interesting to you, but you just can't make it down, or you're not in Vegas and you're not traveling to Vegas, check out all the talks on the Tech Alley YouTube channel. You can see, I think they record every talk now, don't they?
I think so.
So if you can't be here in person, you don't have to miss out on that. So check out those talks. They're really, really amazing. I love doing this live stream, but the sad part of it is I don't get to go to the talks anymore.
That's true. That's true.
But the best part about Tech Alley is the networking and the meeting people and the conversations, and I can always go watch them online. So
There you go.
Final thoughts?
Oh, final thoughts is just remember that the only way that this works is together. So together we build.
Do you want to? Yeah, I was gonna say, do you want to
Shameless
show the
plug.
back of your shirt?
Yeah, I'll grab a.
Yeah, we'll show you the shirt, but that is the is that our motto, or is that that's a whole globe?
The global theme for Global
So
Entrepreneurship Week,
together we build is the global annual theme for Global Entrepreneurship Week this year. So together we build, and honestly, it's the only way anything's going to get built is if we do it together.
That's
so
very true.
so
Cool.
So lots of cool sponsors on that shirt. Lots of cool things going on.
You're on that shirt.
I am on that shirt. That wasn't even where I was going with that, but yes, my company is on that shirt. So, all right, well, thank you everybody for joining us. Tech Alley's still going on for a few more hours. You've got about half an hour to catch the second round of talks. We did the rundown a few minutes ago, so if you want to get down here for the second round of talks, fantastic. If you want to get down here for the third round of talks, you have a little less than an hour to get down here for that. But we will see you next month at Tech Alley. Thanks for joining us. Onward and upward.